Chapter 51. The expected scene of the lower world did not appear in front of him, it was still his own cabin. What's happening here? Luu refused to give up and entered the portal again. After a few seconds, he was back again. This left Luu a little confused. What's going on? His portal must have been placed correctly. What went wrong? Luu was puzzled. Notch was basking in the sun outside his castle when he suddenly felt something. He casually moved, and a light screen appeared in front of him. On it was a scene of Luu constantly trying to enter the lower world. Oh, this kid actually plans to go to the lower world to wander around. Well, his equipment is barely enough to look at, but you can't go in now. Just wait. Notch said to himself, with a smile on his lips. After Luu tried many times, he finally gave up the idea. Needless to say, he could guess that it must be the fault of this guy Notch, who actually didn't even open the map of the lower realm. Luu had no choice but to leave home dejectedly and teleport to the village. Since he can't go to the lower realm, he can only go to the underwater temple to have a look. The Ocean Explorer map in the cartographer's hand is a good thing for him. After arriving in the village, Luu first went to visit Jerry. Jerry's mental state was slightly better than the previous days, but he was still frowning and in a depressed mood. Luu patted him on the shoulder and said, "Hey, you can't go on like this every day. Molly will definitely be sad to see you like this." Molly. Jerry's eyes were a little blurry and he murmured softly. Seeing him like this, Luu knew that he might not be able to recover for a while, so he simply didn't bother to care about him. He walked slowly towards the cartographer's house. This time, the unkempt cartographer didn't just stand around in the yard. When Luu saw him, he was sitting on the stone steps at the gate, drinking alone. Luu said hello to him, but he didn't seem to hear him at all. Luu simply walked in and stood in front of the cartographer. "Brother, are you a cartographer? Can you say something?" Hearing this, the man raised his head and glanced at Luu, and said calmly, "Drink with me, and I'll tell you." He pointed to the jug next to him. Luu didn't even blink. He directly picked up the jug and poured it all into his mouth. When the wine enters the throat, not only is it not spicy at all, but it feels sweet and mellow. Luu's eyes lit up, he simply opened his big mouth and poured it inside. "You are wasting your natural resources. Bring it here." The man quickly took the wine bottle from Luu's hand, with a look of distress on his face. This is a fine wine that he brews exclusively from wheat, the only one in the whole MC continent. Luu wiped his mouth with some unsatisfied thoughts. He had just drank half a bottle of wine, and a 10-minute buff appeared in his status bar, which was urgent. The urgency buff is a powerful buff that can increase attack speed by 10% and mining speed by 20%. I didn't expect that you can get it by just taking a few sips of wine. He suddenly showed a chrysanthemum-like flattering smile to the cartographer. "Brother, do you still have this wine? I can buy it at a high price. Get out! Get out! Get out! Don't bother me, I'll spoil all the good wine for you." The man put the wine bottle in his arms, watching out for Luu as if watching a thief. Luu was also a little speechless. He wanted to find a cartographer to ask about the adventure map. Who would have thought that this guy was actually an alcoholic, which completely subverted his three views. "Forget it, it seems that there is no chance, let's ask other villagers if they know." Luu just turned around and was about to leave, but was stopped by the cartographer man behind him. "Stop, are you the one who fought off the disaster villagers before?" That's right." Luu didn't quite understand the meaning of his question. "I have the ocean adventure map here." The man took out a sheepskin map from his arms and shook it at him. "Really? Hurry! Sell it to me. I want it for as much money as you want." Luu was overjoyed when he heard this and urged in a hurry. "Why are you so anxious? I haven't finished speaking yet. If you want an ocean adventure map, it's easy, just help me with something." "What's the matter? Do you want to hear it?" Luu simply sat down next to the man, wanting to see what kind of medicine this guy was selling. If he talks nonsense and wants to do something impossible for himself, Luu doesn't mind using violence to steal the map. "I'm not really a cartographer." The man's words were shocking, and Luu was stunned. "You're not a cartographer, so why are you living here and wearing a cartographer's clothes?" he asked curiously. "To be exact, I knew the original owner of this room, but she was dead, so I took over her job. The man sighed and told his story. His name is Dom, and he was originally a wandering businessman. Until one day, he came to this village and met Rona, the cartographer here. Lorna's mother was also a senior cartographer. After her mother's death, Lorna inherited her mother's business and began to work as a cartographer. It's just that the profession of cartographer is not as simple as imagined. Lorna suffered a lot before she achieved anything. The first time Dom saw Lorna, he couldn't help but fall in love with this ice snow and smart girl. He gave up the life of a wandering merchant and settled down in the village just to see Lorna every day. At first, Lorna was not very interested in this down-and-out wandering businessman, and was even a little disgusted. She hates men who drink because they remind her of her alcoholic father. After Dom realized this, he finally changed his mind, gave up his alcohol addiction, and reappeared in front of Lorna with a neat hairstyle. Although he still failed to win Lorna's favor, Lorna didn't seem to dislike him as much as before, and the situation seemed to have improved. Gradually, Dom got closer and closer to Lorna, and he began to help Lorna study the craft of cartography. Over time, Dom gradually became immersed in the knowledge of cartographers. The relationship between the two has become truly close because of this, but neither party has expressed it. Once, Dom went out to sea to catch cuttlefish so that their gallbladders could be used to draw maps. He unexpectedly discovered an undersea ruins, which seemed to contain many treasures. Dom returned home and told Lorna what had happened. As a cartographer, Lorna was very interested in places like this, so she went to sea with Dom to explore the ruins on the seabed. I just didn't expect that I would never come back once I left. Chapter 52. As soon as they went to sea, they encountered pirates. They were caught on the ship and locked up. Just when the two were desperate, suddenly the dark clouds in the sky changed color, the sea water surged into the sky, and a violent wind wave capsized the entire ship. Suddenly a giant monster jumped out of the water and cut the ship in half with one slap. Everyone fell into the water, including the two. When Dom woke up again, he found that he had been pushed to the beach by the wave. He was horrified to find that Lorna was missing. Dom shouted Lorna's name on the beach like crazy, but no one responded. The two of them had actually revealed their feelings to each other after they were caught aboard the ship by the pirates. It turned out that Lorna had already been moved by Dom's sincerity, but she never revealed the relationship. After Lorna disappeared, Dom came to the sea there many times, wanting to go down and find out. Even if Lorna really died, he would still find her body and take her back. It's just that there are many dangers in this sea area. He was seriously injured several times and almost died. As a result, Dom began to give up on himself and spend the whole day with wine, using wine to drown his sorrows. So many years. He still couldn't forget Lorna in his heart. You mean, you want me to help you bring back Lorna's bones? I'm afraid it's a bit difficult. According to what you said, Lorna has disappeared for several years. Even if she is really dead, her bones will definitely be in the sea. There's nothing left. After Luu listened to Dom's narration, although he sympathized with him, he still raised his own questions. No, you misunderstood. I don't want you to retrieve her bones. This is impossible. I want you to help me find out what the giant monster is at the bottom of the sea. I can find a way to help Lorna. Revenge. Dom said through gritted teeth. Okay, I promise you. Dom handed another map to Luu, which recorded the sea area where Lorna had an accident. After Luu got the map, he studied it and set off directly. There were only 2 days left before the end of the first beta. He had to hurry up and get things done, otherwise when a large number of new players poured in after the open beta, others might be the first to get in. In the boat, Luu rowed along the river to the distant seaside. It's about half a day's journey from the seaside. There are mountains and forests all the way, so it's faster to get here by water. By the time Luu arrived at the beach, it was already noon. He had to find out the situation here before tonight, otherwise the sea would be even more dangerous at night. Time was running out, so Luu unfolded the map in his hand and carefully searched for the direction to go. Seeing that the place marked on the map was getting closer and closer, Luu's eyes were still dark and he had no clue at all. Suddenly a blue dolphin jumped up on the calm sea, and there was more than one, a whole pod. They looked at Luu curiously and wandered around his boat. Some naughty dolphins simply swam to the bottom of his boat and began to thrust upward with their mouths. Luu only felt the hull of the boat shaking violently a few times, and then the boat was overturned by the dolphins. He has the title of a water killer, and it doesn't matter whether he's on a boat or in the water. A bold little dolphin rubbed its head against Luu's body, and Luu also gently rubbed its little head to show friendship. When you encounter dolphins, never attack them, otherwise you won't even know how you died. Luu took out a few fish from his bag and fed them to the little dolphins. They gathered around Luu and looked very happy. At this moment, the little dolphins suddenly dispersed. Before Luu had time to realize what was happening, he saw a huge tentacle leaving the water, raising it high, and about to hit Luu's head. Seeing this, he quickly dodged to avoid the fatal blow. But it was still a little late, and the impact caused by the tentacle's impact still directly wiped out nearly half of his blood. If he was hit by this tentacle, Luu felt that even the diamond enchantment suit he was wearing might be choked. He finally knew what the giant monster that attacked Dom and Lorna was. It was a giant cuttlefish nearly 100 meters long. Luu was as vulnerable as a little kid in front of it. Nah. These days, cuttlefish can become sperm. The little dolphins were already hiding far behind, and seemed to be quite frightened. Luu dove into the water. He had been sneak attacked just now, so he couldn't avoid it. Now it's his turn to take action. As soon as the effect of the killer in the water was triggered, Luu's figure was like a nimble fish, moving quickly in the sea. He took out the enchanted diamond sword without mercy and slashed the giant cuttlefish's leg hard. Luu finally saw clearly this guy's blood volume, which was nearly 1,000 drops. His sword strike was like tickling the cuttlefish monster, neither painful nor itchy. Luu slashed at its joints a few more times and finally removed one of its tentacles. After losing one tentacle, the damage suffered by the cuttlefish monster suddenly became much higher, doubling directly, and it was still bleeding. Luu was overjoyed. It turned out that it still had weaknesses. It seemed that as long as I cut off a few more tentacles, I might have a chance to kill this big guy. Luu sped up, the diamond sword in his hand flying up and down in the sea, and soon removed several of the cuttlefish's legs. For a time, the giant cuttlefish's blood volume had been knocked out by Luu. Luu felt relieved. This guy turned out to be a strong-willed guy, extremely clumsy. Just when he was rejoicing, the cuttlefish monster finally became angry. It sprayed a cloud of black mist from its belly towards Luu. This black mist was its strongest killing move. It was extremely powerful and mixed with corrosive effects. It looked at this hateful human being wrapped in layers of its own black mist, with a hint of pride on its face. But within a few seconds, the black fog dissipated, and Luu stood there as if nothing was wrong, with not a hair missing. The giant cuttlefish must have never imagined that Luu actually had a sacred cloak on his body that was immune to magic attacks, and he resisted all its attacks. Have you run out of tricks? It's my turn. Luu jumped out of the water, and a dolphin swam over consciously and held him up. Luu took out his bow and arrow and pointed it at the cuttlefish's eyes. With a swish sound, the arrow flew through the air, carrying firelight, and hit its big black eyeball heavily. The damage of this arrow was as high as dozens of points, and the burn damage caused by the flame impact kept flashing on its body. Luu took advantage of the victory to pursue, dived into the water again, and took out his riptide enchanted trident. As soon as the effect of the torrent enchantment was triggered, Luu's whole body was like an arrow from the string, and he suddenly came to the front of the giant cuttlefish. He took out a red and white object from his bag, lit it and threw it into the belly of the giant cuttlefish. Explosion is art. Try my TNT. Chapter 53. Luu detonated a TNT and threw it into the mouth of the cuttlefish. He only heard a muffled sound. The TNT flashed a few times and exploded. The giant cuttlefish's abdominal cavity was directly blasted with a large hole by the powerful TNT, and the entire sea surface was dyed dark red with its blood and ink. The cuttlefish itself is a mollusk. Although it has a lot of health, its defense is extremely low. An explosion directly took away half of its health. It roared in pain and was about to escape underwater. How could Luu let go of the fat he got? He took advantage of the victory and pursued it. He threw the torrent trident again and instantly caught up with the escaping cuttlefish. He suddenly accelerated and slashed at its abdomen with another sword. Squid was in pain and tied up Luu with his tentacles. It wanted to use its tentacles to strangle Luu to death, which was also what it liked to do most on weekdays. Seeing the panic and fear on the faces of these humans, it felt particularly happy. It doesn't like to eat people like some sea beasts, it just likes to torture people and watch them die miserably. It's just that the tighter it is, the higher the damage caused by the thorns coming from Lu's body. It was so frightened that it quickly threw Lu out and fled. 36 strategies. Walking is the best strategy. As long as you can escape, no matter what. It swam desperately toward the bottom of the sea, trying to escape. It has been king in this sea area for many years, and this is the second time it feels threatened by its life. I still remember the earliest time when it was just a young cuttlefish. The mother told it that although humans are very small, they pose a great threat to their survival, so they must be careful. It wasn't until his mother was suddenly taken away one day that he understood the words in his mother's mouth. It began to hate humans. The desires of these greedy guys seemed to have no end, and they fished without limit and killed wantonly. It thinks all humans deserve to die. One day, it met a human being who looked very special and had a pair of white eyes. It remembered it clearly. The human's strength was extremely terrifying, and he controlled it effortlessly. "You seem to hate humans, don't you?" the man asked, looking at it playfully with a smile. It was shocked that the human in front of it could actually speak Oceanic, a language that only marine creatures can master. "Who is he? Drink this and you will become stronger." The man took out a bottle of potion and threw it to it. It looked at the man resentfully. "Don't look at me like that. I'll give you two choices, drink or die." The man's tone was very calm, and there was no trace of emotion. It drank it doubtfully and did not dare to resist. It had no doubt that the white-eyed man in front of it could easily kill him. Soon, its body underwent miraculous changes. Its entire body began to expand and grow, and finally turned into a giant cuttlefish nearly 100 meters long. Feeling the powerful power coming from his body, an idea suddenly came to him. "Damn human! How dare you order me? Go to hell!" It launched an attack on the white-eyed man, and for a moment the sea water surged into the sky, setting off huge waves tens of meters high. The white-eyed man still looked calm, with no trace of panic on his face. It was a little puzzled. Could it be that this white-eyed man was blind? Otherwise, why would he be indifferent? When the overwhelming waves were about to fall on the white-eyed man's head, the man slowly stretched out his right hand and grasped the waves in the void. But the next second, it saw an incredible scene. The huge waves tens of meters high suddenly stopped. Yes, it just stopped, and a powerful chill spread rapidly along the man's right hand. The originally turbulent waves were frozen in an instant, including those not far away. The white-eyed man walked up to it from the ice with a smile and chuckled. "I am different from the human being you talk about. I am God." After that, the man laughed loudly and walked away. After a long time, it resumed action. From then on, the white-eyed man completely disappeared and never appeared again. After it gained great power, it began to make waves in this sea area. As long as human ships passed by, it would drag these humans into the water and drown them alive. Lorna died at its hands. Perhaps it was the retribution for his many evil deeds that attracted such a murderous god like Luu. I feel that my life force is rapidly draining away, and the humans behind me are still chasing after me. It's already a bit hopeless. As everyone knows, Luu is not feeling well now either. Although he has the title of a water killer, he still needs to breathe. Luu's breathing bar is almost at the end now. If he doesn't surface again, he will probably drown in the water alive. However, he didn't want the duck to fly away just like that. For a time, Luu was in a dilemma. The giant cuttlefish suddenly stopped. It knew that it would definitely not work if it kept running like this. Sooner or later it would be overtaken, so it simply turned back and fought with this human. Maybe there was still a chance of survival. Just in time. Luu was overjoyed and worried about what to do, but it actually turned around and killed him. Luu took out a bottle of potion from his bag and drank it in one gulp. Those were a few bottles of strength potions that Jerry gave him last time, and he just needed them now. This bottle is a high-grade strength potion, which can increase his attack damage by 260%. What a powerful force! Feeling the endless power pouring out of his body, Luu tightened his grip on the diamond sword and rushed forward. At this time, the giant cuttlefish only had more than 100 drops of blood left. Luu took a direct attack from it and lost more than half a tube of blood. But before he was injured, he slashed the giant cuttlefish several times. Just like bleeding, the cuttlefish's blood bars kept falling down. One last blow. Go to hell. Luu's breathing bar was at the bottom, and he began to suffocate and force blood deduction. He used all his strength to slash out the last sword, directly clearing the giant cuttlefish's blood tank, and at the same time struggled to swim towards the sea. But even with the speed bonus of a killer in the water, Liu was still a little short of getting back to the water before his blood ran out. Seeing that he only had 2 bars of health left, and the sea just above his head. Do you really want to die here? He was not afraid of death. He still had 3 chances to be reborn. Death once would have no effect. Hundreds of people surrounded and attacked the village, but none of these could take his life. In the end, he died of drowning and suffocation. Isn't it too embarrassing? Liu couldn't help but regret a little. If he had left in time just now, perhaps this situation would not have happened. He sighed softly in his heart, gave up the struggle, and fell to the bottom of the sea. Chapter 54. Suddenly, Liu felt as if his body was being pushed upward by something. When he looked back, he saw that they were actually dolphins. They were surrounding Liu's body and trying hard to push him up. Liu was very moved and didn't know what to say for a while. With the help of the dolphins, Liu tried his best to rush towards the sea again. This time, the speed was much faster than before. The dolphins surround Liu and add a buff to him that increases his swimming speed. Only players who have gained favorability from the dolphins have the opportunity to obtain this buff. The sea was so close that it seemed like he could touch it with just a raise of his hand, but Liu only had the last bit of blood left. The suffocation effect flashed again, and he was about to suffocate to death. Get up here! Liu threw the trident hard and finally surfaced at the last moment. He was panting heavily and couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat when he saw that he only had half a bar of blood left. It was so dangerous, I almost died in the water. Fortunately, Dom's commission has been completed perfectly, and he even killed the monster. Liu suddenly slapped his forehead. Yes, that monster is dead, why didn't it even announce the first kill? He didn't believe that other players besides him could kill this big guy. After returning his blood volume to full, Liu took a deep breath and got into the water again. After searching around the bottom of the water, I couldn't find any loot, only a few ink sacs. Liu almost vomited blood in anger. After struggling for a long time, I only got a few ink sacs, what a loss. The dolphins were still circling around Liu. One of the little dolphins swam over and called him twice. Liu was stunned, was it calling him? The little dolphin screamed and flapped its tail, as if telling Liu, come with me. Liu followed it with confusion on his face. After swimming for about 5 minutes, the little dolphin leading the way screamed happily and plunged into the water. Liu quickly followed. He wanted to see where the dolphins were taking him. When I was a child, I heard my father mention that as long as you get close to dolphins, they will take you to find nearby treasures. Liu followed it and swam all the way to the bottom of the sea. Not long after, he saw a huge wooden sunken ship that had been split in 2 from the middle. There is also a black mark on the hull. It has become blurry after many years, but it can still be recognized as a mark commonly used by pirates. Could it be that this is where Lorna and Dom's ship sank? Liu put on a pair of deep-sea explorer iron boots, so that he could move at almost the same speed on the seabed and on the plains. Treasure chest. As soon as Liu got close to the ship, he found a treasure box with a lot of seaweed growing on it. After cleaning up the dirty things, Liu opened the treasure box. There are some gold and iron ingots inside, not like before, but there are 2 diamonds, which is an unexpected discovery. Continuing to rummage through the sunken ship, Liu saw what seemed to be a sparkling thing on the deck. He swam over and picked it up. He saw that it was a crystal pendant, although it was already covered with a layer of dust. Liu put this thing in his bag and continued to look for the treasure box. In a cargo hold at the bottom of the ship, Liu found another treasure box. It was mostly covered with water plants and sand. If he hadn't had sharp eyes just now, he probably wouldn't have been able to spot it. Treasure map. Liu was surprised to find that there was a treasure map in the box. This was an unexpected surprise. The treasure map has a chance to reveal a map of one of the woodland mansions, desert temples, and buried treasures. These places are full of fat and oil. But after thinking about Woodland Mansion, I might as well forget it. Liu probably couldn't deal with Bill's pervert. There was also a compass and a few books in the chest, but nothing else. Liu searched around again, but found nothing else, so he swam back to the water. The mission of this trip was successfully completed, and it was getting dark soon, so I had to rush back. After bidding farewell to the enthusiastic little dolphins, Luu teleport directly to the village. Dom was slightly startled when he saw Luu coming back so soon, and then sighed. Coming back so quickly, it seems like nothing happened. Dom, I'm back. Let's go. I won't give you the Ocean Explorer map until things are settled. This was Lorna's hard work during her lifetime. Dom waved his hand to Luu and wanted to kick him out. Hey, don't worry. I've already taken care of the things you told me. Luu quickly grabbed Dom. Hey? Got it? What's going on? Dom's heart trembled when he heard this. Could it be that he had really heard the news? Come on, I'll sit down and chat with you slowly. Give me a few sips of your wine first. Luu chuckled, grabbed the wine bottle from Dom's hand, and started pouring it into his mouth. Well, don't lie to me, or I will make you pay the price. Dom glanced at his wine distressedly and put Luu in. Luu drank the wine in the pot in one gulp, wiped his mouth, and drank a lot. What a wine! What a wine! You should tell me quickly. Dom was impatient and urged. Luu told him from the beginning to how he met the giant cuttlefish. After listening, Dom stayed where he was and didn't speak for a long time. Dom, are you okay? Luu stretched out his hand and waved it in front of his eyes, but he didn't react at all, as if he was stupid. Dom suddenly stood up and fell to his knees with a thud. Thank you for helping me avenge this revenge. From now on, you will be my great benefactor, Dom. Dom still wanted to kowtow, but Luu quickly helped him up. Get up quickly, why are you kneeling to me? I don't want to lose my life yet. Dom's face was full of emotion, and his eyes were already red. By the way, I also found this thing on that pirate ship. Have you seen it? With that said, Luu took out the crystal pendant from his backpack and placed it in front of Dom's face. Oh my god! This is Lorna's pendant. Why is it at your place? Dom covered his mouth and pointed at the pendant with a shocked expression. Hey? Such a coincidence? Then I'd better return this pendant to you. After all, it belongs to Lorna. Luu handed him the pendant casually. Dom felt so missed that his eyes filled with tears for a moment. Luu, I really want to thank you this time. If it weren't for you, I might never be able to get my revenge. It's okay, it's just a little effort. This is the Ocean Explorer map. Take it. I want to be alone. Luu took the map from his hand, and a big stone in his heart finally settled. Chapter 55. Luu returned home and quickly took out the Ocean Explorer map from his bag and unfolded it to take a look. The location of the underwater temple is quite far away from me, and it will probably take half a day to get there. Luu calculated the time and found that there was one night left tonight. At the end of the day tomorrow, the closed beta would officially end. Then we must start setting off tonight, otherwise it may be too late. Just as he was about to set off, he suddenly remembered that he had found a treasure map on the sunken ship. He should open it and take a look at it, and solve it together if possible. When he opened it, he saw that it was a treasure map of buried treasure, and it was not far from the location of the underwater temple. If you walk along the river, you'll be on your way. There is a 100% chance that you will get something called the heart of the ocean from the buried treasure. The heart of the ocean can be combined with the nautilus shell to make a tide core. The tide core is a good thing. Players nearby can obtain tidal energy, which can also illuminate nearby waters, speed up underwater excavation, and allow players to breathe underwater. However, the conditions required to activate the tide core are relatively stringent, and some special blocks are required, such as premarine, sea crystal lanterns, premarine bricks, and dark premarine, all of which can activate the tide core. Luu's trip was to go to the undersea temple, which just solved the problem of materials and killed two birds with one stone. Moreover, the more these block structural frames there are, the greater the range of influence of the tide core in the water. When the device reaches a complete frame of 42 blocks, it will also cause damage to monsters in the water within a certain range nearby. Luu has already made plans. As soon as he makes the core of the tide, he will be ready to move. Living on the ground is always a bit unsafe. He plans to move to the deep sea, where ordinary people cannot enter and find it. With the tide core, Luu no longer has to worry about these problems. As for this place, let's just keep it as a large farm. It's safer to move the important things to the deep sea. But these will definitely have to wait until after the public beta, and there is no time now. Liu rode on the skeleton horse Dehei, found the right direction, and ran all the way. Under the night, a man and a horse were galloping under the moonlight. Those monsters could only watch as Liu passed by them at extremely fast speeds, but they were unable to do anything. Just before dawn, Liu finally found the buried treasure. This is a beach, but Liu didn't see any trace of treasure, so it must be buried under the beach. He looked at the map and determined where the treasure might be buried. He took out a shovel and started digging frantically. After digging for a while, I still found nothing. Liu was a little confused. Could he have been poached by others? Unwilling to give up, he continued digging a few more cells, and finally saw a treasure chest. It's okay. His grandma scared me to death. Liu's hanging heart was finally relieved. Opening the treasure chest, there was indeed a purple spherical heart of the ocean. The rest is no longer important. As long as he has this thing, Liu is satisfied. Continuing to move forward, we soon saw a sea. Liu rode Dehei into the water. I have to say that Dehei is really easy to use. Apart from not being able to fly, he is also a good hand in water and on land. Moreover, Liu's water killer seems to be effective against Dehei. He runs no slower in the water than on land. Not long after, Liu finally saw the underwater temple he had been looking for a long time. Before they even got close, they saw several guards patrolling around the temple. As long as you kill one of these things, it will attract a group of them. Liu looked at the 150-point health bar above their heads and felt a little guilty. In fact, there weren't many things he wanted in the underwater temple. Liu just came to get 2 first kills and dig up some materials to make the search core. As for the 8 gold nuggets in the temple, they didn't mean much to him, they were better than nothing. Liu rode Dehei directly to the top of the temple, and used soil to build it up along the top until it emerged from the water. He left Dehei above to avoid being attacked by the guards later. He himself jumped into the water again, preparing to find a lone guardian and kill it. With a buzzing sound, the mark of an ancient guardian appeared on Liu's head, which would give the player a negative debuff of excavation fatigue 3. This was done to prevent players from forcibly digging holes into the temple. However, Liu had a sacred cloak on him and was not affected at all. At this time, a guardian saw Liu. It swam over quickly and launched an attack on Liu. He attracted the defender to his side, quickly blocked its retreat with dirt, and trapped it. If it were a one-on-one challenge, Liu would be worthy of it. With the sacred cloak, its attacks against Liu were completely ineffective, and he could only watch helplessly as Liu hacked it to death. Congratulations to the player Wise Cube Man for completing the achievement Monster Hunter Guardian, obtaining the first kill of the Guardian monster in Minecraft Online. Congratulations on completing your first kill of a defender in the entire server. You will receive a reward of 500 gold coins and the title Deep Sea Walker. Deep Sea Walker, the breathing bar will not be consumed in the water. It couldn't have come at a better time. With this thing, it is equivalent to a permanent scuba potion, and I will never have to worry about drowning in the future. Liu felt that killing the Guardian was not difficult at all, but the gold coins given were still large, which was enough. These days, the rich ones are the bosses. He walked to the platform directly above the temple, placed a TNT on it, and placed a piece of sand on top of the TNT. Light the TNT with a flint, the sand will fall down, and the TNT will be successfully detonated. TNT blasted a large hole on the top of the temple. Through the hole, Liu could clearly see the ancient guardians underneath. This thing is the most difficult boss he has encountered so far. The blood volume is already as much as 400 points, and the attack power is also extremely abnormal. Wanting to kill this big guy, Liu didn't intend to confront it head-on. He looked at the gunpowder in his bag and suddenly a plan came to his mind. Liu got into the temple, and the ancient guardian spotted him the moment he entered. Its big eyes were fixed on Liu, and a little light in front of it gradually became brighter. This is its charged impact. Player's hit will be forced to superimpose a layer of excavation fatigue 3 debuff, and the damage is also very high. Liu didn't even look at it, and directly blocked the surrounding space to prevent the ancient guardian from escaping. Chapter 56. Liu withstood the attack of the ancient guardian and surrounded it in a small space, and then swam out quickly. When he finished all this and returned to the ground, he had only 2 drops of blood left. If he hadn't been wearing a set of diamond armor that protected him, he would have died long ago. Lu looked at the ancient guardian under the water, with the corners of his mouth raised slightly. If I can't beat you, can't I blow you up? Lu made all the gunpowder in the bag into TNT, lit it and threw them into the water one by one. TNT's explosion in water will not destroy the block, but it will still cause damage, but it will be lower. Lu took advantage of this characteristic to trap the ancient guardian in the explosion range of TNT and bombard it mercilessly. Don't ask him where he got so much TNT. In those days, he was squatting beside the monster spawner and killing creepers like crazy. He had countless sets of gunpowder in his bag. It came in handy today. Lu lit a TNT and threw one down, as casually as if he was eating melon seeds. The ancient guardians underwater could only watch the TNT explode around them, but they were helpless. After more than 10 minutes of explosion, the ancient guardian finally fell in endless humiliation. An elite monster with a dignified mini-boss template was actually blown to death alive by someone using TNT. And it's not the kind of instant death, but it happens at different points, making it feel that even wanting to die is a very difficult thing. Congratulations to the player Smart Cube Man for completing the achievement Monster Hunter Ancient Guardian, obtained the first kill of the Ancient Guardian monster in Minecraft Online. Congratulations on your first kill of the Ancient Guardian in the entire server. You will receive a reward of gold coins x1000 and the weapon Sword of Ancient Judgment. Sword of Ancient Judgment, basic damage 10, causes 10 times damage to ancient creatures, cannot cause damage to other creatures, exclusive for clever cube people, cannot be damaged and cannot be enchanted. Ancient creature? This. Lu was holding this golden sword and was a little confused. In other words, this sword can only be used to defeat ancient guardians, and other monsters cannot even be used. Isn't this a scam? There are only 3 ancient guardians in an underwater temple. After the beating, is it possible to just leave it to gather dust? Lu's head was full of black lines. He really couldn't understand Notch's brain circuit. He was probably short-sighted. Forget it, we've already come, let's take care of the remaining 2. Lu rushed into the temple with his sword and found the remaining 2 ancient guardians. One person chopped it off a few times, and it was solved so easily. It was as simple as a child playing house. Walk in from the main entrance of the temple, on the left, then turn right at the first intersection, pass through several stone pillars, and see a dark wall. Lu dug open the wall with ease, revealing 8 dazzling gold nuggets inside. After digging out these gold nuggets one by one and putting them into his backpack, Lu originally planned to go out directly, but when he turned around, he discovered that there seemed to be a mural in this hall. Judging from the painting style, it should be of the same type as the murals in the Jungle Temple. He carefully recalled the murals he saw in the Jungle Temple. The murals of the Jungle Temple depict a group of strangely dressed people, kneeling on the ground and worshipping a tall humanoid statue in the sky. The statue holds a golden sword in its hand, with a symbol on its chest, and the desert temple. The talisman of life at the door is very similar. Golden sword. Could it be? Lu slowly grasped the sword of ancient judgment he had just obtained, and then he reacted belatedly. The golden sword on the mural should be the one in his hand. Different from the murals in the Jungle Temple, the murals in the underwater temple are relatively simple. The tall humanoid statue holding a golden sword and the mysterious symbol on his chest still appear on the mural. Only this time, the statue had been pushed to the ground and broken into several pieces. The golden sword had also fallen to his feet, and all the people who had knelt down to worship him disappeared. Lu was puzzled. What did these 2 murals want to tell future generations? He had no way of knowing now. Forget it, he didn't bother to think about it now. Now that he had obtained the items and the first kill, the trip had come to a successful end. As for the Sword of Ancient Judgment, Lu threw it directly into his backpack. It had an awesome name and looked very cool, but it was just not useful. Before leaving, Lu dug out some of the various blocks in the underwater temple and kept them for later use. When he teleported back home, jumped online. Lu, where did you go? I was just about to call you. What? What's the matter? In a few hours, the closed beta will be over, and you have firmly won the first place on the gold coin list. Yeah, I didn't expect that I could win this first place. I'm a little excited when I think about it. When Lu heard this, a happy smile appeared on his face. As soon as he got the money, he was going to take his mother to see a doctor, and he didn't want to delay it for a second. Can you teach me how to fish? I just tried several times and couldn't catch it, and I was almost killed by a drowned corpse. Tiao Tiao said coyly, feeling a little embarrassed to bother Luu. This is not easy. Come on, let's go to the river, just so you can see the core of the tide. Luu casually made a fishing rod, took out the nautilus shell that he had dropped from the drowned corpse before, and synthesized a tidal core with the heart of the ocean he brought back this time. Taking Tiao Tiao to the river, Luu jumped into the water and killed 2 drowned corpses without eyes. First, 5 grids of pre-marine bricks are laid horizontally on the bottom of the water, and then 4 grids are extended upward, forming a 3x3 hollow pre-marine frame inside. Then put a grid of pre-marine in a row horizontally, and put the tidal core into it. The tidal core began to operate, and then the pre-marine blocks used to support the tidal core were knocked off. A buff status called Surge Energy appeared in Luu's status bar. It allows the player to breathe water, and also increases the player's night vision and digging speed. With the tidal core, the entire underwater view suddenly became extremely clear. Luu began to teach Tiao Tiao how to fish step by step. He thought back then, he was also an experienced fishing player. When I have nothing to do, I like to go to the river and fish all day long. The happiest moment is to catch an enchantment book, and then open it to see that it contains the best enchantments, such as Experience Repair, Frost Walker, and other treasure enchantments. There was a previous chapter about obtaining experience patching from the enchantment table, which was wrong. Experience patching belongs to treasure enchantment and cannot be obtained from the enchantment table. This is hereby corrected. I often wake up laughing from my dreams. The happiness of fishermen is often so unpretentious and boring. Chapter 57. Luu and Tiao Tiao were sitting by the river fishing, and they caught a fish in the evening. Dusk was setting, and as soon as Luu stood up and stretched, a system message began to scroll on the world bulletin board. There are still 10 seconds until the end of this game's internal beta, so all players please be prepared. 1987. As the numbers continued to count down, Luu and Tiao Tiao both looked at each other. They thought that the game closed beta would end after 12 o'clock tonight, but they didn't expect that it would be earlier than expected. When the countdown reached 1, both of them flashed at the same time and disappeared. When Luu opened his eyes again, he had returned to the giant square he came to before the server started. Many players were looking at everything around them in confusion, and some of them were still on fire. God bless you. I just accidentally fell into the water. I thought I was going to die, but I ended up being teleported here, ha ha ha. The player saw that he had only half a bar of health left, and almost died. He was so frightened that he broke into a cold sweat. For the rest of his life, he couldn't help laughing loudly. This is his last life. If he dies, his efforts will be in vain. Tiao Tiao was standing not far from Luu, with a fishing rod in her hand, a little confused. Luu walked over and patted her shoulder. What are you doing, standing here stupidly? Luu, you, it's my fish. It's the fish I finally caught. Just when I was about to close the rod, it was passed over. I'm so angry. Tiao Xiao's face was full of sorrow. She had fished for most of the day without catching any fish. Looking at Luu on the side, he not only caught a lot of fish, but also caught a copy of Frost Walker and Experience Repair. Luu chuckled, rubbed her head, and said comfortingly. It's okay. If you fish again in the future, there will always be something. The fishing system in Minecraft Online is very different from the fishing system in the original MC. First of all, the success rate is much lower, and it is more realistic. Players need to skillfully master the skills of walking fish in order to increase their success rate. The choice of fishing spots is also extremely important. Fish can only be found in natural waters. There are no fish in pools dug by yourself. During the closed beta, many players have become obsessed with fishing, and some have been lucky enough to catch many good things. Luu checked the ranking list. He currently topped the gold coin list with a total of nearly 8,000 gold coins, arrogant among the others. Xiao Zili, who was originally ranked second, was pushed out by Tiao Tiao due to not playing the game recently. Tiao Tiao had accumulated a lot of gold coins from selling things in the main city these days. She originally wanted to give all of them to Luu, but Luu refused to accept them at all. Anyway, no one can surpass him. The reward for first place has been obtained. It is better to leave this gold coin to Tiao Tiao and let her break into the top 10. During the days when Tiao Tiao was working in the underground farm, he planted and harvested vegetables, raised cattle and horses, and earned much more gold coins than ordinary players, but he couldn't compare with monsters like Luu. She originally had more than 1,000 gold coins, and with the addition of more than 1,000 gold coins obtained from selling things, the total number of gold coins soared to nearly 3,000, and she took the second place like a rocket. Xiao Zili ranked third with more than 2,500 gold coins. Pangolin did nothing every day and helped Xiao Zili sell things. Relying on the profits shared from the cooperation, he ranked fourth with 2,000 gold coins. Looking at the entire audience, except for the fifth player, the top 4 players on the gold coin list are all people who have a close relationship with Luu. The people in the square have basically arrived. Excluding some players who are not online and those who have exhausted their resurrection times, there are probably nearly 5,000 people gathered. Someone had recognized Luu and shouted excitedly. "Damn it! It's the witty cube man! Everyone, look!" As soon as these words came out, the whole place immediately became lively. Many players who had only heard of his name but had never seen Luu in person crowded over and wanted to see his true appearance. They were curious about what was so special about this legendary player in the server. "Idol! I finally meet you! I'm a big fan of yours! Sign your autograph for me!" A tall, bloated player squeezed out from the crowd, fell to the ground, hugged Luu's thigh and started crying for his father. "Hey, what are you doing? Let go!" Luu quickly broke away. He never expected that he actually had ardent die-hard fans. Could it be that this is a crazy fan in the entertainment industry? What if he is gay? Thinking of this, Luu couldn't help but feel a little scared. Tiao Tiao stood nearby, covering her mouth and snickering while watching this scene. Although other players also wanted to join in the fun, because the impression Luu left on their hearts was so cruel, no one dared to walk 5 meters in front of Luu, and they all stood far behind. Luu didn't bother to care about them, as long as there were no more players like before, he really couldn't bear it. After the player was pushed away by Luu, he still looked full of admiration and enthusiasm. "Idol, can you add me as a game friend? Please." Luu was stunned for a moment, then hesitated and said, "It's okay to add friends, but you have to promise not to harass me again in the future, otherwise." "Definitely, definitely. I just want to be a friend." The man nodded in response. "The player Invincible Fatty has applied to add you as a friend. Do you accept it?" A friend application message immediately popped up in the system bar. Luu approved his friend application, and the player named Invincible Fatty immediately cheered. "Thank you, Master Cube. Oh my god! I was added as a friend by the Cube Master. Ha ha ha." He thanked Luu profusely and ran out of the crowd, seemingly to find his companions. After a storm, Notch also appeared high in the sky in the center of the square. "Dear players! We meet again. Today is a great day for the end of the closed beta of Minecraft Online. Over the past month, I have witnessed you, a group of loving players, slowly transform from confused rookies to busy advanced players. And now he is an extremely skilled game master. Along the way, I believe you will also have a better understanding of the game Minecraft Online. I hope this game is not just for casual entertainment, but I want it to become an epic-making game. I hope that while you have fun playing the game, you can also learn some truths about life. Maybe in 10 or 8 years, this game will be replaced by another game. However, I hope that the spirit of MC players can always exist in the hearts of every player. The good and evil, the good and the bad, these precious life principles it taught us can be passed on forever, and that is enough." Chapter 58. After Notch said this, the players below also felt something. In this short month, they have experienced too many things. Perhaps he was tricked by scammers like Scorpion Layla and Cockroach Bully, and he learned how dangerous the human heart is. Perhaps in the most difficult time, when you are about to starve to death, someone is willing to give you a piece of bread, and you know the kindness of human nature. Or perhaps it is a group of stranger players who have never met each other before and learn to cooperate sincerely and unite as one in order to survive in the dangerous world of MC. Okay, I've said everything I need to say, now comes the last step. Everyone held their breath, waiting for the awards. They also want to see the top 10 and what kind of fierce people they are that can stand out among nearly 10,000 people. Everyone must still remember that I said on the first day of the server launch that after the game's internal beta, the top 10 players in the gold coin rankings will be rewarded. Today, I will fulfill my promise. All players ranked in the top 10 will receive the corresponding transfer amount after they go offline. In addition, during the month-long game, one player's performance was extremely outstanding. He is the number 1 player, Witty Cube Man. As soon as these words came out, everyone turned their attention to Luu. Notch continued, originally, I wanted to reward him with 10 million plus a random enchanted book, but now it seems that the enchanted book looks a bit shabby. So, I decided to add an extra reward. Everyone gasped, the extra reward sounded awesome. However, some people still raised objections. He already has so many rewards. Why should we give him more? It's not fair. A man shouted loudly. This person is actually a member of Eternal Peak and once participated in the siege of Luu. He didn't want Luu to get more benefits, so he jumped out on purpose. Notch's face turned cold, but his smile soon returned. I thought to myself, I am the god of creation, is it your turn to compete blindly? If there weren't so many people today, I would have pinched you to death. Don't worry, this reward can only be used in the game, and there is no substantial improvement. Everyone was relieved. Since it was just an object that did not affect combat effectiveness, there was nothing to envy. Witty Cube Man, I, the great creator god Notch, grant you the title of Supreme Glory. You will be the strongest player in the game. After that, he waved his hand, and a dazzling golden flashing title appeared above Luu's head, the strongest player. The Eternal Summit player who had questioned just now suddenly felt regretful when he saw the cool title above Luu's head. What a cool title! If we were walking on the road, the rate of turning back would not be 100%. If I had known better, I wouldn't have said anything. Luu also complained endlessly. Although this title was popular, it was of no use to him. If you carry this thing with you, wouldn't you just make yourself uncomfortable? With such a conspicuous mark, are you afraid that other players won't recognize him? He wished that no one knew him, so that he could act more conveniently, otherwise it would be very troublesome to be recognized by people all day long. Notch looked at Luu from a high place with a playful smile. Feeling Notch's gaze, Luu also raised his head. After the two looked at each other, Luu understood everything. This guy did it on purpose. He just tried it, but he couldn't take off this nickname at all, and he couldn't hide it. People would see it wherever he went. There are few people now, so the chance of encountering players outside is not very high. If we wait until after the public beta, players will be running everywhere. Others can see the title above his head from a long distance, it is simply a moving beacon. At that time, if you are alone in the wild, you will definitely be stared at. Everyone knows that he is a big fat sheep, so how can you play? Luu raised his middle finger to Notch, expressing his contempt for him. By the way, I forgot to tell you something very important. After the end of this internal test, all data will be saved and the server will be upgraded for a period of time. The next time we see each other is the day of the grand open beta of Minecraft Online. Everyone, we will see you then. Goodbye. As soon as Notch finished speaking, Luu woke up from his deep sleep. The server has been shut down, so he naturally disconnected it. A crisp text message alert sounded, and Luu picked up the phone next to the pillow and opened it. Your bank card account received 10 million.00 yuan in Chinese currency on August 27, and the balance after the transaction was 10 million.99 yuan XX Bank. Luu felt a little dizzy looking at the pile of zeros. He suddenly felt a little unreal. I am a senior high school student who actually gained a fortune of 10 million yuan through playing games. Who would believe it if I told him? His hands were shaking slightly and his heart was beating faster and faster. Is this what it feels like to get rich overnight? Love it. It's so damn cool. Luu laughed loudly while lying on the bed, tears streaming down his face. Luu's mother Yin Li was cooking in the kitchen when she suddenly heard her son's somewhat crazy laughter coming from the house. She took off her apron, wiped her greasy hands, opened the door and walked in. Xiao, what's wrong? Are you smiling so happily? As soon as she entered the door, she saw her son lying on the bed, holding his cell phone and laughing wildly. Her heart tightened. Could it be that her precious son had become stupid while playing games? I read on the news 2 days ago that a student was so addicted to gaming that he knelt down 30 times in a row during the qualifying match. In the end, he went completely insane, crying and laughing at times. As soon as she saw the news, she told Lu's father, Lu Xian, and asked him to persuade his son to play less games so that he wouldn't end up like this again. After Lu Xian listened, he just waved his hands indifferently and told her not to worry, their son had a good attitude and nothing like this would happen. Lu was still immersed in joy. He didn't even hear his mother calling him, and still laughed there. When Yin Li saw that her son was ignoring her, her heart suddenly tightened. Could it be that? His own son too? No. No. She muttered a few words softly, then took a closer look. I saw Lu lying on the bed, laughing and crying, his body still twitching. Isn't this exactly the same as the situation in the news? Oh my god! Sure enough, she guessed right, her son actually. Thinking of this, her eyes suddenly darkened and she fainted. Chapter 59. Lu was smiling happily when suddenly there was a popping sound in the room, waking him up from his beautiful fantasy. He sat up and looked out of the bed, and was shocked. I saw my mother lying on the ground, and the spatula in her hand fell off, as if she had fainted. Mom! Mom! What's wrong with you? Don't scare me! He quickly jumped out of bed and carried his unconscious mother from the ground to his bed. Mom! Are you okay? Lu's eyes turned red instantly, and his voice was slightly crying. Why did my mother faint suddenly? Is it possible that her illness is already so serious? She actually couldn't bear to tell herself. At this moment, Lu only felt extremely guilty in his heart. Even after calling several times, my mother didn't wake up. Lu had no choice but to call 120 and call an ambulance to take his mother to the hospital. Fan Xian had just gotten off work. He had originally agreed to go back for dinner today, but his boss dragged him to accompany him for a drink. The day before yesterday I drank until after 12 o'clock at night before going home. I sat in the living room and vomited all night. I still have a headache. He had no choice but to go, even though he didn't want to go, but in order to support his family, he had no choice but to go. Sitting in the back seat of the car, he leaned his head on the seat and wanted to take a rest. He was really tired today. Just as he fell asleep, his cell phone rang. Caller ID, son. He hesitated for a moment, then picked up. He was probably calling to ask when he would get home. Hey, son, why are you calling me? I have a social event outside today, so I won't go back to eat. As soon as Fan Xian answered the phone, he said the lines he had already thought of. Dad! Mom suddenly fainted. What should I do? She has been taken away by the ambulance. Lu's trembling voice came from the other end of the phone. What? Xyli, why did she faint suddenly? Lu Xian immediately sat up from the back seat of the car, his mind going blank. How come? Didn't the doctor say that her body is fine for the time being? How so? Last time he took Lu's mother to the hospital for a full body examination. The doctor told him that Yin Li suffered from uremia and needed a kidney transplant, otherwise she would not live for a few years. The doctor's words were like a thunderbolt from the clear sky, and the two people who received the results had despair on their faces. Replacing a kidney is not easy, it can cost anywhere from hundreds of thousands to millions, plus the cost of subsequent medical treatment. For a family like theirs where only one person works, it is a devastating blow. The house they live in now requires monthly loan repayments. Excluding various other living expenses, the family has only saved tens of thousands of yuan over the years. They originally planned to save this money slowly to buy a wife for their son, but now the price of getting a wife is too high. He ignored the opposition of his family and stayed with Yin Li. Both parents did not think highly of them and did not provide financial support. This house was bought by two people with a mortgage loan, and they had to repay the loan for more than 30 years. It can be said that they have been working on this house for the rest of their lives. Even so, the relationship between the two has never had any problems. On the contrary, it is getting deeper day by day. Coupled with the birth of little Luu, this family seems to be perfect. No matter how difficult life is, as long as people are still there is hope. But since Yin Li was diagnosed with uremia, both of them began to feel depressed. There is almost no laughter at home anymore, and most of the time the two of them are acting for their son. The family could not afford the huge cost of treatment, so Yin Li made her own decision. She did not intend to cure this disease. Anyway, she had already watched her son grow up, and she felt very relieved. She just couldn't see the day when he got married and had children. This was her only regret. That night, she told Lucian her thoughts. Lucian didn't say anything, got out of bed, put on a coat, walked to the balcony, and started smoking silently. He rarely smokes, and only smokes too when he has no other choice when drinking and socializing. One night passed, Lucian's eyes were sunken and bloodshot. On the ground in front of him, cigarette butts and ash were scattered everywhere, some of which had been wetted by his tears and condensed into ash balls. This middle-aged man, who had just entered his 40s, felt the ruthlessness of fate for the first time. He originally thought of hiding it from his son for a while longer to try not to worry him. But now it seems that I can't hide it anymore. King Han Central Hospital, right? I'll be here right away. Wait for me. After Lucian inquired about the hospital where Yin Li was staying, he hung up the phone and prepared to leave immediately. Driver, stop. I want to get off. He shouted to the driver in front of the commercial vehicle. Xiao Lu, what's the matter? Why do you want to get off the car suddenly? The supervisor surnamed Lu on the side turned his head and asked. He is Lucian's boss and is responsible for all matters of Lucian's department. Whenever he had a banquet, he would drag Lucian over as a shield to accompany him. He himself only drinks tea every time, not alcohol. Lucian had proposed several times that he did not want to attend the banquet, but he was always rejected by manager Lu. Xiao Lu, I took you to drink because I think highly of you. I hope you will be self-aware and do things well for me. I will get a promotion and a salary increase. You are indispensable. This is a sentence that manager Lu often says to evade Lucian. But several years have passed, and Lucian has not seen his salary increase or promotion. He realized that the promotion and salary increase that manager Lu said were all empty talk, and he had no intention of fulfilling them. But for the sake of life, he still had to continue to accompany him to socialize and drink. Manager Lu, I'm sorry, my wife has something wrong and is now in the hospital. I want to go and see the situation. Lucian explained to manager Lu in a low voice, hoping that he could be flexible. From what you said, you are not going to this banquet. Manager Liu's face turned cold and his tone was a little low when he heard this. I don't know if he was asking or blaming. I'm afraid I can't go tonight. I'm sorry, manager Lu. Although Lucian was very anxious, he still smiled and explained to manager Lu in a good tone. If he angered manager Lu, he would definitely be punished. If he lost his job, his family would have no one to support him. Tonight is a very important banquet. Director Li and Section Chief Wang from the company will be there. This is a rare opportunity to show off. Are you sure you don't want to go? Hey. But, my wife. Lucian wanted to explain, but was suddenly interrupted by manager Lu. Okay, don't explain anymore. I don't want to listen. Go or not, give me an answer now. Manager Lu glanced at him and said with some anger in his tone. Lucian probably heard the implication of manager Liu's words. If he goes, everything can be discussed. If he doesn't go, don't expect a good life in the future. On one side is family, and on the other side is work. If he chooses family, he may lose his job. When he loses income, he can't even take care of his family. But now his wife's situation is unclear, and he has no mind to do anything else. For a while, Lucian was in a dilemma. Chapter 60. Seeing that Lucian didn't say anything for a while, manager Lu simply gave him an ultimatum. I'll give you another 10 seconds. If you still can't decide, you can get out of the car. Come to the company tomorrow to pack your things and leave. 10, 9, 8, 7. Just as he was about to count to 1, his cell phone rang suddenly and Lucian picked it up. Hey, Dad, where are you? I'm at the entrance of the hospital now. Son, there's something's going on here with Dad, and I might not be able to get through it. You should look at Mom first, and remember to call me if anything happens. Faced with reality, he had no choice but to give in. He cannot live without this job. He still needs money to support his wife's life, and his son is about to start school, so he needs money. Dad, is that bullshit Director Lu asking you to drink with him again? Lu heard that his father's tone was very complicated, and he could probably guess something. Several times when he got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, he could hear his father talking drunkenly. Director Lu, I can't do it anymore, I really can't drink anymore. I drank this glass of wine for Director Lu. Basically, it was all related to Director Lu. Liu knew at that time that Director Liu was probably using his father as a tool to stop the drinking. Liu Xian was stunned. He didn't expect that his son even knew Director Liu. He could only nodded softly and said helplessly, "No way, this is Dad's job." When Liu heard this, he was slightly stunned and didn't know what to say. Thinking of the scene where his father would vomit on the balcony in the middle of the night, Liu felt very disgusted with Director Liu, and could even be said to hate him. But this is the father's choice. Isn't he doing this to support the family? Therefore, Liu has never advised his father. The adult world is always cruel and realistic, and he has no right or qualification to interfere. But it's different now. He has 10 million, which is enough to last a lifetime. Dad, I just earned 10 million Huaxia coins from playing games. You can resign. I will support you from now on. Liu said this very calmly. After listening to this, Liu Xian's mind suddenly went crazy. Did you hear it correctly? What did your son say just now? Did he make money playing games, or was it 10 million? Son, is this true? He asked uncertainly, still in disbelief. If you don't believe it, I will transfer 1 million to you right now. After Liu finished speaking, he hung up the phone and transferred 1 million to his father's Zifubao account. Liu Xian was still confused. What was going on? His son shouldn't lie to him, but this sounds too incredible, right? Xiao Liu, can you give me the answer now? Manager Liu had a smile on his face. He was confident that someone like Liu Xian would definitely choose to agree to him. Director Liu, I. As soon as Liu Xian opened his mouth, a transfer prompt sounded. The lucky treasure has arrived, 1 million yuan. The air in the car suddenly solidified, and the driver suddenly braked, causing several people to stagger around. Liu Xian stood firm and his whole back suddenly straightened up. He walked up to Manager Liu, patted his big face gently, and said arrogantly, "Zudu Liu, I'm quitting. Go have a drink with those idiot leaders." Manager Liu was fat and short, and he was greedy for money and lustful. He often touched his female subordinates, so the company employees privately gave him a nickname, Pighead Liu. But no one has ever dared to shout it in front of him. Liu Xian opened the car door and walked out swaggeringly, leaving only Manager Liu with a handsome back. "I'm so angry. I'm so angry. You idiot. It would be great if you have money." He hadn't gone far when he heard a burst of angry shouting and curses coming from the car. Liu Xian raised the corners of his mouth and smiled slightly. "Although I don't have money, my son does." He took a taxi on the side of the road and arrived at the door of the hospital 10 minutes later. Liu was standing at the door waiting for him. When he saw his father coming, Liu hurriedly greeted him. "Dad! You're finally here. Son, how is your mother doing now?" Liu Xian asked eagerly. The doctor said that she was just in a coma due to excessive fright and physical weakness. It shouldn't be a big problem. She is lying in the ward now. Hearing this, Liu Xian let out a long breath, just hope everything is fine. "Dad, are you and Mom hiding something from me? I can feel it." Liu changed the topic and asked the question he wanted to know most. "Hey, now that things have come to this, I don't want to hide it from you anymore." Paper was destined to be unable to cover up the fire. Liu Xian did not intend to hide it from his son anymore, so he told his son that Yin Li had uremia. After finishing speaking, Liu Xian seemed to have aged more than 10 years and felt a little melancholy. After Liu heard this, his mind suddenly buzzed. Uremia, it was actually uremia. Her mother had such a serious illness but she didn't tell her and wanted to save the treatment costs for herself. "Dad, it's okay. Uremia is not a terminal disease. Now that I have money, my mother's disease can definitely be cured." Liu said to comfort his father. "Yes. You are right. There is hope." Liu Xian was suddenly awakened by his son's words. "Yes, I gave up treatment before because I had no money for treatment. But now that I have money, I might actually be able to cure my wife's disease." "Who among you two is Yin Li's family member?" A nurse came out and asked the two of them. "I." Liu and Liu Xian shouted in unison. The nurse was stunned. After seeing their appearance, she had already guessed their relationship. "Yin Li is awake. Do you want to go and take a look?" she said with a smile. "Really? Come on, take us there." Liu Xian urged quickly. When the father and son rushed to the door of the ward in a hurry, Yin Li had already sat up from the bed. Seeing the father and son, one old and one young, panting, her face was full of doubts. What's going on with them? Why did he appear in the hospital? Mom! Are you okay? Liu lay beside his mother Yin Li's bed and held her hand, still a little worried. Me? What can happen to me? But you, why were you crying and laughing at home just now? I thought you were obsessed with playing games. Yin Li said angrily, if Liu hadn't scared her just now, she wouldn't be lying here. Mom, your imagination is too rich, isn't it? Liu was a little stunned. He didn't expect his mother to faint because of this. It was really a huge misunderstanding. Xiao Li, you are thinking too much. Your son is very promising now. Liu Xian chuckled and walked to his wife's bedside. What's the meaning? Yin Li was really confused now. What on earth were the father and son talking about? Mom, let me tell you, don't get excited. Liu gave his mother a vaccination in advance. Oh, you two, father and son, are singing a double act here? What the hell is going on? My head is getting big. Yin Li couldn't help but complain. Mom, I earned 10 million playing games today. Yin Li was stunned and asked uncertainly, 10 million game coins. Liu shook his head. It's 10 million Chinese coins. After hearing this, Yin Li rolled her eyes again and fainted. Mom! Mom! Wake up! Honey! Don't get excited! Wake up! The ward was in chaos again. Chapter 61. After persuading Liu to go home, Liu Xian moved a chair and sat in front of his wife's hospital bed. Honey, my son is now promising, and your illness can be cured. He lay on the edge of the bed, holding Yin Li's hand tightly, his eyes filled with tears. I didn't even cry, you grown man, why are you crying? Yin Li wiped away his tears and said softly. I'm crying with joy, it's okay. A long-lost smile appeared on Liu Xian's face. He had forgotten how long it had been since he had been so happy. Over the years, he has been carrying the burden of the entire family, walking alone and with difficulty. Now, it's all over, and I finally have time to take care of my family. Husband, thank you for sticking with me all these years. Yin Li couldn't help but burst into tears when she thought of the hardships she had endured over the years. Why are you thanking me? If you want to thank me, just thank God for giving you a good son. Liu returned home. As soon as he entered the door, he lay down on the sofa. From the joy of just getting rich, to the panic when his mother fainted, to the final false alarm. Life is like a play, great joys and sorrows often come and go quickly. Liu was lying on the sofa, looking at the white ceiling, and his mind was filled with things about his mother's condition. He suddenly thought of something and quickly sat up. He took out his mobile phone, opened Penguin Chat, and sent a message to Diao Diao. Liu planned to ask Diao Diao if his father could help arrange a specialist clinic. His mother's condition could not be delayed any longer. Unexpectedly, Diao Diao agreed immediately, which made Liu overjoyed. After Diao Diao replied to Liu's message, he left the bedroom and went to the study. Liu Tianese was dealing with work matters at his desk when he suddenly heard footsteps coming from the door. He looked up and saw that it was his precious daughter. Xiao Tao, do you have anything to do with Dad? Dad, didn't I tell you last time that I have a friend's mother who wants to come to your hospital for treatment? Liu Tianese thought for a while, and it seemed that such a thing happened, but it had been several days and he almost forgot about it. He put down the document in his hand and smiled. Yes, I remember, your friend's name seems to be Liu, right? Well, his mother is currently hospitalized in Qinghan Central Hospital, so... Liu Xiaotao suddenly didn't know what to say anymore. He knew that his father must have a way to do this. But isn't it a little bad to open the back door so openly? It's okay, I've got it covered, you don't have to worry. Liu Tianese patted his chest and assured his daughter. Early the next morning, Liu came to the hospital. He had already made an appointment with Tao Xiao's father on the phone to meet at the entrance of the hospital. After Liu learned that the other party was willing to help last night, he was so excited that he stayed up all night. A middle-aged man about the same height as Liu walked from the side of the road, wearing a pair of glasses and looking gentle. Hello, Liu, I am Liu Tianese, Liu Xiaotao's father. Liu was stunned. Liu Xiaotao? Then he realized that this must be Tiao Tiao's real name. He quickly shook hands with the other party, looking a little embarrassed. Uncle Lu, hello. Okay, no more talking nonsense, let's go in quickly. Lu Tianese took Lu into the hospital. Dean Lu, good morning. When they arrived at the front desk of the hospital, the nurse at the reception greeted Lu Tianese. Lu. Dean? Lu was shocked when he heard this and almost fell to the ground. No way? Tiao Xiao's dad is actually the director of Qinghan Central Hospital? This is too crazy. Lu suddenly became panicked, and he couldn't help but swallowed. Qinghan Central Hospital is one of the top 10 hospitals in the country. To be able to occupy such an important position at such a young age, Tiao Tiao's family conditions must be very unusual. Good morning, please help me check the information of a patient. Her name is Yin Li. She was admitted to the hospital just last night. Lu Tianese also responded to the other party very politely. He didn't have the airs of the dean at all and seemed very approachable. After getting the resources, Lu Tianese waved to Lu. Let's go to the ward to see your mother. Oh, good. Lu recovered from the shock and quickly followed. As he walked, Lu Tianese looked at this little boy who was about the same age as his daughter with great interest. When I thought about my daughter's strange behavior these days, I probably understood something in my heart. But things haven't reached that point yet, and he doesn't want to intervene now. Let's take a look first and then talk about it. After all, everyone has to go through these emotional things. And from the few minutes he had been in contact with Lu, he could feel that this boy should be a good person, at least very filial, and willing to run around for his mother's illness. Lu followed Lu Tianese, feeling excited and nervous. I have met a noble person this time. With the dean here, things will be much easier to handle. However, he was still a little worried. If his mother's illness was very serious, it would be troublesome. Pushing open the door to the ward, the two of them walked in one after the other. Uncle Lu, let me introduce to you. This is my mother, Yin Li. Hello, my name is Lu Tianese, and I am the dean here. Lu Tianese introduced himself very humbly. House, Dean. Hearing this, Yin Li hurriedly sat up from the bed. Ms. Yin, if you are not in good health, please stop moving. Lu Tianese quickly motioned for her to lie down. Yin Li looked at her son and then at Lu Tianese, feeling a little confused for a moment. First it was 10 million, and now even the director of Qinghan Central Hospital has been invited. How many more surprises can his son bring to him? After a brief conversation, Lu Tianese had a general understanding of Yin Li's condition, and he gave his own suggestions. If you want to cure uremia, you can only get a kidney transplant, otherwise you won't be able to live long with dialysis. Change. Must change. Lu suddenly couldn't help but interjected. Lu Tianese looked at his serious look, with a hint of appreciation in his eyes. It's just, the money required for a kidney transplant is not a small amount of money. You have to think about it. Post-operative recovery is also a big expense. He didn't forget to give Lu a warning. After all, this would cost nearly $1 million, and ordinary families simply couldn't afford it. It's okay, Uncle Lu. You just need to arrange the surgery for my mother as soon as possible. Don't worry about money. This seemingly young boy spoke so calmly, which made Lu Tianese a little impressed. In comparison, my daughter still seems a little immature. Well, now that the money matter has been resolved, it will be easier to handle. I will organize an expert meeting in the next 2 days to discuss your mother's condition and arrange surgery for her as soon as possible. After saying that, he turned and left the ward. Lu and his mother both had a smile on their faces. Everything seems to be getting better. Chapter 62. With the help of Tiao Xiao's father, Lu's mother quickly performed the surgery. The operation was very successful. As long as she takes good rest and recuperation, Lu's mother can live like a normal person and no longer have to worry about the disease. Today is the day when her mother is discharged from the hospital. Lu and Lu Xian, father and son, came to the hospital early to greet Yin Li. Yin Li was helped out of the hospital by 2 people. Looking at the bright sunshine, she was filled with emotions. Mom! Get in the car! Lu walked to a BMW and opened the door, while Yin Li was slightly stunned. Whose car belongs to? When did your family get a car? Honey, my son bought this car for me, so don't ask, just get in the car. Lu Xian chuckled and sat in the cab happily. This car suddenly occurred to Lu when he passed by the forest store 2 days ago. He has not given any gifts to his father in these years, so he will give him a car first. Parents have worked hard for Lu these years, and it's time to enjoy life. It has been some time since the closed beta of Minecraft Online ended. After this closed beta, many professionals in the game industry gave the game Minecraft Online unprecedented high scores. Regardless of the game graphics, music, and playability, they have all received unanimous praise. The stock price of Magic Craftsman Company has been rising all the way up, and the commercial value of the game assessed by people in the industry has reached hundreds of billions of Chinese coins. Many well-known online game unions have focused their attention on this, and they have more or less financial support from various consortiums behind them. The Magic Craftsman Company has spent a lot of money this time. Advertisements for Minecraft Online are everywhere in the streets and alleys, overwhelming. After this wave of publicity, Minecraft Online has reached unprecedented popularity. From an 80-year-old man to a 3-year-old child, almost everyone is discussing this topic. Magic Craftsman also promptly launched its second-generation holographic simulation gaming glasses. Compared with the bulky first-generation gaming helmets, the second-generation gaming glasses are much smaller and more portable. Not only is it much smaller in size, the price is also very affordable, only 998. With such a low price, it can be said that Magic Craftsman is making money at a loss just to promote the game. Lu also bought 3 pairs of glasses to keep at home, preparing one set for himself and his parents. My mother has just recovered from a serious illness, and her mentality seems to have become much younger. My father stays with my mother at home every day to nurse herself back to health, and the family enjoys themselves happily. Tomorrow is the day when the university officially starts, so Lu got up early. He was going to the school dormitory today to get the bed, bedding, and other things ready, so as not to be too busy later. Singon University, where Lu is from, is a prestigious university, and its teaching staff ranks among the top 10 in the country. Although registration will not officially start until tomorrow, many students have already arrived at the school early. Like Lu, they are all freshmen in this class. Lu took a taxi here today, and he didn't bother his father to send him here. The taxi stopped slowly at the school gate. The school had regulations that taxis could only go here. There was no other way, so Lu had no choice but to drag the heavy luggage out of the trunk, put it on his shoulders, and walk to the campus. Although he is a native of Qinghan City, this is also his first time to enter the campus of Singon University. Lu looked around, feeling very fresh. The campus of Singon University is so big that it had to set up a campus bus. Arriving at a nearby bus stop, Lu unloaded his luggage from his shoulders. This thing was really not light, and he was very tired after carrying it for a while. A chubby boy also walked over with big and small bags in his arms. He was half a head taller than Lu, and his figure was a bit bloated. The fat on his body trembled when he walked. Oh my god! I'm so exhausted. The boy threw the package on the ground and sat down on it. He was already panting and sweating from exhaustion. It was the end of August, and the scorching sun had not yet restrained its power. Within a few minutes, his body was soaked with sweat. Not long after, the bus arrived on time. The boy hurriedly picked up the package and was about to get in the car. Lu was not going to argue with him and was going to let him get in the car first. Possibly due to heat stroke, as soon as he stepped onto the steps, his body suddenly went limp and he fell backwards. Lu had quick eyesight and quick hands, and supported him from behind to prevent him from falling. Thanks. The boy quickly stood up and turned around to thank Lu. If it hadn't been for him just now, he might have landed on the back of his head, and the consequences would have been disastrous. Lu smiled at him and then got in the car. The boy was sitting in front of Lu. He turned around and said to Lu with a smile, "Hey, classmate, my name is Tang Yuan, what is your name?" "My name is Lu, what's wrong?" Lu felt that this little fat man named Tang Yuan was quite kind, so he started chatting with him. Tang Yuan was also an acquaintance, and his tone of voice was as if the two of them had been old friends for many years, without any acquaintance. The two soon started chatting together. Tang Yuan talked a lot and couldn't stop talking. Lu didn't say much, mostly listening to his bragging. "Okay, the dormitory is here, I have to get out of the car." The bus stopped, the back door slowly opened, and Liu picked up his bag and got out of the bus. Hey, brother, please wait for me. Tang Yuan also quickly picked up his luggage and got out of the car to catch up. When he knew that Liu entered the university as the first in the college entrance examination in Qinghan City, he decided on the spot to recognize Liu as his eldest brother. Tang Yuan's college entrance examination results were not bad, but they were still far behind the admission score of Qinghan University. For this reason, his father donated a building to the school, and then he was sent to Qinghan University. After Liu heard this, he couldn't help but want to hold his forehead. In order to send their children to school, they donated a building casually. What kind of fairy family are these? In comparison, the few million in savings Liu still had seemed a bit worth mentioning. However, although Tang Yuan's family conditions are very good, he does not have the bad habits of rich children at all, which makes Liu look at him with admiration. Why are you still following me? Liu had already found his dormitory building. He turned around and saw that Tang Yuan was still following him, and asked with some confusion. Ah? I didn't follow you? Isn't this dormitory number 12? What number do you live in? Tang Yuan looked up at the eye-catching number 12 on the outer wall of the dormitory building and asked. I am also in building 12. Liu was silent for a moment. It turned out that he was being sentimental. Oh. It just so happens that I can save some distance when I come to find you in the future. Tang Yuan laughed and didn't care at all. The two of them continued walking upstairs. When he reached the door of dormitory 301, Liu stopped. Okay, I'm here, let's just say goodbye. This time it was Tang Yuan's turn to be stunned. He glanced at the dormitory door number hanging on the wall and asked with some uncertainty, You should also live in dormitory 301, right? Hearing this, the expression on Liu's face instantly froze. Chapter 63. After working for a long time, the two of them were actually in the same dormitory, which made Tang Yuan extremely excited. Great! Brother! This is God's will! Liu was also a little speechless. How could it be such a coincidence? Forget it, he'll settle for what he has come, he's too lazy to care about these things, at least Tang Yuan is still easy to get along with. It was almost noon when I had laid out the sheets and bedding that I had brought. Tang Yuan had long complained that he was hungry and insisted on inviting Liu out for dinner. He had no choice but to nod and agree. Next to the dormitory building of Qinghan University is a bustling commercial street, and the two of them arrived here in a few minutes' walk. Boss, what do you want to eat? I'm treating you today. Tang Yuan patted his chest and said to Liu. Whatever you want, I can do it. The two came to a barbecue restaurant. It was said that the barbecue here tasted quite good. As soon as they sat down, a waiter came up and handed them a menu. Liu randomly ordered a few things and handed the rest to Tang Yuan. Tang Yuan was not vague at all. He scratched many hooks on the paper before handing it to the waiter. Liu glanced at it. The dishes on the menu were probably enough for 4 people. But since he didn't pay anyway, it's hard for him to say anything. After a while, all the dishes they ordered were delivered. The restaurant here will have dedicated waiters to help you grill the meat, so you don't have to do it yourself. This saves Liu a lot of trouble. The waiter at their table was a tall, thin man. His barbecue skills seemed to be very skillful, but he looked cold and distant. The waiter didn't bake as fast as Tang Yuan could eat, so Tang Yuan had no choice but to make enough food and clothing by himself. When the waiter saw this, his hand movements sped up a little. If the store manager saw it, he would definitely say that he was too slow. At this moment, a man and a woman came from the door of the store. The woman is above average in appearance and can barely be considered a beauty, while the man has a sharp mouth and monkey cheeks, and does not look like a good bird. When the two of them passed by Liu's table, the woman's clothes were accidentally splashed by the oil from the barbecue, and a small oil spot immediately appeared on her white clothes. Ah! The woman shouted, attracting the attention of everyone in the store. Liu and Tang Yuan were also startled, especially Tang Yuan, who almost had his throat stuck. Honey! My skirt was stained by him. I just bought this. The woman cried to the man next to her. This guest, I'm really sorry. It's all my fault. Please don't be angry. The waiter also noticed the grease spots on her skirt and immediately bowed to the woman and apologized. Hey, boy, do you have eyes? Are you blind? You stained my wife's skirt and you're done with just apologizing? Pay me compensation. The man next to the woman pointed at the waiter's nose and cursed. His attitude was extremely arrogant. Okay, tell me how much the compensation will be, and I will pay it to you right now. The waiter's attitude was still very good. He was not angry at all because of the man's duties. Instead, he spoke in a good voice. Honey, how much is your skirt worth? Tell him. The man winked at his woman, who immediately understood and pretended to be distressed. Oh, I just bought this dress a few days ago. It's not expensive, just, more than 3,000. The woman thought about it and quoted a suitable price. In fact, the skirt she bought was a bargain, only costing 38 yuan a piece. The reason for lying about a high price is to facilitate blackmail. I really can't afford to pay this guest more than 3,000 yuan. Can it be a little less? What? Can't afford to pay? Then call your store manager over. If you don't have enough money, I'll make an advance from your salary. If you don't have 3,000 yuan, don't even think about it today. There was a look of embarrassment on the waiter's face. His monthly salary was only more than 2,000. If he really lost 3,000, wouldn't he have worked in vain for the past 2 months? School starts tomorrow, and he can only get his salary after get off work today. These are tuition fees. At this time, a man came out of the kitchen. He was the manager of this barbecue restaurant. You too, do you need anything? The waiter in your store stained my wife's skirt. I asked him to pay 3,000 yuan, but he said he had no money. What do you think I should do? The man said arrogantly. Okay, I get it. The store manager turned around, the smile on his face disappeared instantly, and he looked at the waiter with a cold expression. 3,000 yuan will be deducted from your salary. Go to the front desk to pay your salary later. You are fired. Store manager. The waiter's face was ashen. He didn't expect that the store manager would fire him directly without asking the reason or caring about anything. The 3,000 yuan was not only tuition money for him, but also living expenses and medical expenses for him and his sister. The man took the 3,000 yuan in cash from the store manager, tapped it, and put it in his pocket. That's pretty much it, I guess you know what's going on. As he said that, he hugged the woman next to him again and started to walk away. Wait! A voice suddenly sounded. Luu suddenly stood up and called out to the man and woman who were about to leave. Boy, what do you want to do? The man stared at Luu with evil eyes and said viciously. It's nothing, I just forgot to bring my mobile phone when I went out. I want to borrow your mobile phone to make a call. Luu showed a harmless face and said softly. Are you sick? Just because of this? The man thought Luu was going to stand up for the waiter, so he was already ready for a fight. 1,000 yuan a time, do you want to borrow it? Luu took out $100 bills from his wallet, slapped them on the table, and asked the man. The man was slightly stunned and said quickly, borrow it. Why don't you borrow it? Just don't regret it. He took away the money on the table and handed the phone to Luu. The man thought to himself, this idiot came out of nowhere and actually gave him money. If he didn't accept it, he would be sorry for his conscience. Thanks. Luu took the phone from the man and said thank you. The people who were watching around were a little confused. What did this person mean? Could it be that he wanted to stand out, but regretted it as soon as he stood up? Under the watchful eyes of everyone, Luu dialed a phone number and turned on the hands-free. Now everyone was even more curious, and they all held their breath, wanting to see what kind of medicine he was selling in the gourd. A few seconds later, the phone rang. Everyone looked at me, and I looked at you, and finally their eyes were fixed on the store manager. The call came, why didn't you answer it? Luu looked at the store manager and asked calmly. The store manager's face instantly turned pale, and cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Chapter 64. The waiter finally thought of something and exclaimed. I get it. You two are a team. Outside the store, 2 policemen walked in. Who called the police just now? Me. Tang Yuan quickly raised his hand. Uncle Police, there are scammers here, arrest them quickly. As soon as these words came out, the man and woman and the store manager all looked desperate. The store manager had long been unhappy with the waiter, and had just colluded with the man to put on a show. How could he have imagined that just before Luu entered the door, he saw the man talking on the phone outside, and the content of the conversation was very strange, and he was still a little curious at the time. It wasn't until the man took advantage of the topic and suddenly asked for 3,000 yuan that Liu was sure that he and the store manager were a group of liars. "You three are suspected of fraud, please come with us." The police left the barbecue restaurant with the three crooks and the waiter, and the crowd burst into applause. "Young man! Well done!" Liu just smiled indifferently and didn't show too much arrogance. He just couldn't stand it anymore. Before leaving, the waiter thanked Liu profusely and left his contact information and name. "Zhang Hanfan, this name is quite good." As soon as Tang Yuan saw Liu standing up, he was afraid that he would suffer from impulsiveness, so he quietly called the police. Unexpectedly, the final outcome was unexpected. After the storm subsided, the two continued to have lunch. "Brother Yu, do you like playing games?" Tang Yuan suddenly asked for no reason. "Hey? It's okay," Liu said casually. "Have you played Minecraft Online recently?" "I've never played it, but I've heard of it. It seems to be quite popular." Liu thought about it and it was better to pretend he didn't know he was coming. "Brother Yu, let me tell you, this game is really fun. When the server opens in a few days, let's play together." Liu nodded, did not speak, just stuffed meat into his mouth. "Brother Yu, let me tell you quietly, I am a closed beta player." "Do you know a closed beta player?" "The kind that are really awesome." Tang Yuan almost stood up as he spoke. He finally found someone who was willing to play games with him, how could he not be excited? He also didn't forget to brag about how powerful and invincible he was during the closed beta. Liu resisted the urge to laugh and listened to his bragging. This guy actually said that he had won the first kill of many monsters in the game, and he was very serious about it. If Liu hadn't known the inside story, he might have been fooled by him. "Listening to what you said, aren't you the most powerful player in the game?" Liu pretended to have an expression of admiration and asked deliberately. "That's not true. Although I am awesome, I still have a big brother who is even better than me." "Oh? How do you say this?" Liu was also stunned. What was his eldest brother's background? Could he have made it up too? "Speaking of my eldest brother, there is a lot to say. Just listen to me and explain it to you slowly." "Well, there's no rush. Speak slowly and I'll listen." Liu covered his mouth to prevent himself from laughing, and motioned for him to continue blowing. "My eldest brother is the player who ranks first in the gold coin rankings in the server. He and I have a close friendship. I won these first kills with him, but he didn't want to be too high profile, so he put these the honor was given to me." At this point, he suddenly sighed and said rather regretfully. "It's a pity that my eldest brother is abroad, otherwise I would definitely introduce him to you if I had the chance." Hearing this, Liu almost had the barbecue stuck in his throat, and quickly drank a large amount of water to calm down his shock. He tried hard not to laugh out loud. This Tang Yuan, how could he really brag? He was simply bragging without drafting. If I tell him now that the big brother he calls is sitting across from him and listening to his bragging, I don't know what the expression on his face will be. However, Liu doesn't plan to reveal his identity yet, so Tang Yuan can continue to brag for a while. After lunch, Liu and Tang Yuan said goodbye at the door. "I still have to go home tonight and come back to school tomorrow morning to officially register." As soon as I got home, I smelled the delicious aroma of food. "Dad! What delicious food did you cook today that tastes so good?" Liu came to the kitchen smelling the fragrance. "Let's make chicken soup tonight." The old hen has become fatter after several years. Liu Xian was in a particularly good mood today. Liu walked out of the kitchen and went to the living room to turn on the TV. Good news! The latest masterpiece of the magician, Minecraft Online, will be officially released for public beta at 8 AM on September 3 RD. As soon as he turned on the TV, Liu saw the news that Minecraft Online was about to launch its server, which cheered him up. He couldn't help but want to show off his skills after the open beta. By then, there wouldn't be tens of thousands of players playing online together, but a carnival of hundreds of millions of people. According to the latest data from Magician, more than 500 million players have purchased their second-generation holographic simulation game glasses, which means that hundreds of millions of players may flood into the server on the day the server is launched. Magic Craftsman officially stated that the servers of Minecraft Online are enough to support billions of people playing online at the same time, so server lags will not occur at all. Liu continued to watch TV. This was a column dedicated to introducing the game Minecraft Online to everyone. There were also many revelations about the latest version. This open beta has introduced the guild system and team system of traditional online games, so players no longer have to worry about finding like-minded friends. Originally there was no safe zone in the server during the closed beta, but it was added after the open beta. The safe area is divided into residential areas, commercial areas, and leisure and entertainment areas. In these areas, all players will be in peaceful mode and cannot fight. The territory function is also open to players. As long as you use a hoe to dig twice at the area that needs to be enclosed, you can circle that area into your own territory. No one can destroy things in the territory except the owner of the territory. However, correspondingly, enclosing a territory requires a large amount of gold coins, and the ratio is about 1 to 1, that is, 1 gold coin is needed for 1 space. The larger the area of the encircled territory, the more astonishing the cost is. LUU estimated that his few thousand gold coins might not even be able to capture the underground farm. At the same time, the official also provides convenience for rich players. 100 yuan of real currency can be exchanged for 1 game gold coin. At the same time, 1 gold coin can also be exchanged for 100 yuan of real currency. However, it should be noted that in order to maintain the balance of the game mall does not provide props to increase player attributes. The gold coins obtained by players' recharge can only be used for transactions between players, or for handling fees such as land enclosures. Pin. Chapter 65. When it was dinner time, Luu couldn't wait to come to the dinner table. Son, go call your mother out for dinner. Lu Xian poked his head out of the kitchen and gave instructions to Luu. Okay. Luu nodded, opened the bedroom door, and walked in. Mom, it's late. His voice stopped suddenly and he was stunned for a moment. Luu pushed the door open and saw his mother sitting in front of the computer. On the screen was the game he had been playing since his childhood, Minecraft. Mom, why have you started playing Minecraft too? He has never seen his mother play games a few times since he was a child. I saw an advertisement on TV today, and suddenly I wanted to play it for a while. I want to look back at the feeling of playing games in the past. I really miss it. Yin Li sighed. With so many things going on at home, and her poor health, how could she have time to do this? She also saw the advertisement for Minecraft Online on TV today, and then her hands were itchy and she couldn't help but start playing. She was also an internet addict when she was young, otherwise she wouldn't have been able to see Lu Xian in eye to eye. When Luu and Yin Li walked to the dining table, Lu Xian had already put all the dishes on the table. Is it a festival today? Why are the dishes so rich? Yin Li opened the chair and sat down. She looked at the delicacies on the table and asked curiously. Honey, today is a very memorable day, do you still remember it? Lu Xian chuckled and pretended to be mysterious. Today? Yin Li was stunned when she heard this, and her mind fell into deep thought. After thinking for a while, she still didn't recall it, so she had to shake her head at him. Then I won't lie. Today is the 20th anniversary of the day we met in the game. Yin Li suddenly realized that she remembered that it was on such a day that she met Lu Xian in the game. It's not that I didn't know, but I was shocked. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, 20 years have passed since the two first met. Dad, can I ask you something? Luu asked curiously. What's up? Which of you chased who first back then? I want to hear the truth, so don't fool me. Yin Li and Lu Xian looked at each other, not expecting their son to be such a gossip. Son, I am not bragging to you. Your father and I were a well-known big shot in the server back then. He was proud of the whole server with his precise shooting skills. Your mother was my ultimate little fangirl back then. If you don't believe me, just ask her. As soon as he talked about his heroic deeds back then, Lu Xian couldn't stop. He praised him so loudly that it made Luu feel a little dizzy. I don't know which fool he was. He secretly stuffed diamonds and equipment into my box. He even wore a suit of armor and went around looking for fights. In the end, he was hacked to death with a few swords. Not to be outdone, Yin Li also revealed Lu Xian's embarrassing things. Isn't it because you are too skilled? So I took off all my equipment and weapons for you to wear. Otherwise, how could you beat me with the strength of milk tea? Lu Xian blushed at what he said and explained quickly. The majestic image he had finally built up in front of his son could not just collapse. Liu looked at his parents helplessly and sighed. Why did he feel that these two people were not quarreling, but showing naked affection? Have you never considered the idea of being single? Okay, you two, stop arguing. I haven't even eaten yet, and I'm almost fed by your expired dog food. Liu stretched out his hand to signal the two of them to stop talking. He was like an outsider now. Liu Xian and his wife looked at each other and smiled, with a hint of sweetness on their faces. By the way, Dad, Mom, I bought you two a pair of the latest gaming glasses. Minecraft Online will be available for public testing in 2 days. If you are bored at home, you can go and play. It's pretty cool. Not bad, almost no different from the original MC. Is that the game that made you a full 10 million? Liu Xian asked curiously. He had seen various advertisements these days, but he couldn't make up his mind for the moment. Yes, I heard that after the open beta, gold coins can be exchanged for real money. 1 gold coin is worth 100 real coins. Now many online game unions are recruiting offline gold miners. I heard that they can make money. When he heard about money, Liu Xian frowned slightly, feeling a little uncomfortable. As long as it has something to do with money, it will change. As the earliest batch of veteran MC players, they have an extraordinary affection for MC. In their eyes, MC is not just a game. The emotional value and meaning it places on it cannot be compared to ordinary games. Therefore, old players like them are somewhat resistant to Minecraft Online, which is known as the latest sequel of MC. Or, to be more precise, trepidation. They are afraid that if this game is poorly made, or if it is just a new game with the MC name to make money, it will most likely destroy the last bit of nostalgia they have for MC. This is the belief and sentiment of MC players. They would rather silently remember the past than break this beautiful period with their own hands. Sometimes, new doesn't mean good. Many of the masterpieces that were once handed down in the gaming world have been destroyed by various poorly produced sequels or remakes long afterward. These game companies are targeting the pockets of their old players, forcing them to stir up nostalgia. They only have money and interests in their eyes, and they don't care about the feelings of veteran players. There was a lot of vigorous publicity in the early stage, saying that after playing this game, you can regain your original intention. In fact, it was just trying to make a fool of yourself, and using some inferior games to perfunctory old players. This is a naked consumption of the feelings of these veteran players, which is an extremely disgusting behavior. For example, it's like you spent money to order your favorite dish, and then the restaurant brought you a plate of shit and lied to you that it was delicious, but you ate it in anticipation. Go down. Although this metaphor is a bit disgusting, it is true. The author here names and criticizes the remake of Warcraft 3, the Diablo series, the Sword and Fairy series, including some mobile games adapted from classic anime IPs, which are simply unacceptable. Okay, I'll go up and take a look then. Although I am a little worried, since my son strongly recommended it, I think it should still be acceptable. Even if I, Liu Xian, am bored to death, I will never touch the game Minecraft Online. Warning in advance. Chapter 66. After eating, Liu returned to his bedroom. He lay lazily on the bed, holding his cell phone and started browsing Penguin Space. Pull the screen down to refresh the latest friend updates. Liu let out a sigh and sat up from the bed. Just a few seconds ago, Diao actually posted a space update. School starts tomorrow and I haven't had enough fun yet. The accompanying picture is a slightly aggrieved selfie with a small mouth pouting. Liu thought for a while and commented below. As soon as he sent the comment, he regretted it. The relationship between the two is just pure online friends, not even real friends, just friends who play games together. Why can't you resist commenting when you're fine? Will this make him look frivolous? Liu felt a little flustered. He has been very introverted since he was a child, and he has always been very unsociable in junior high school and high school. His classmates would also point at him behind his back, making him very uncomfortable. In fact, he also wanted to integrate into the group, but he just couldn't do it. The only thing he can do is to keep studying hard and try not to let others look down on him. This is also the main reason why his grades have always been among the best. Loneliness, low self-esteem, and introversion ran through his youth. Only in the game can Liu find some solace. At least he can communicate with others normally. Just a few seconds after Diao posted the post, he received a comment. She was slightly startled, it was Luu. I think you look better when you smile. After reading Luu's comments, Tiao Tiao's cheeks suddenly turned red and she felt a little shy. What, this guy has such a sweet mouth, why didn't she notice it before? She thought for a while and replied to Luu with a comment. Tiao Tiao buried her head deeply into the quilt, like a frightened ostrich, her mind was in a mess. Luu quickly received Tiao Xiao's reply. Then I will send you more smiling photos in the future. After reading it, Luu's body suddenly trembled for no reason, as if his heartbeat slowed down by half a beat. He replied again, then turned his cell phone to silent, stuffed it under the pillow, and stopped paying attention to it. Tiao Tiao took the quilt away from her head, and when she saw Luu's reply, she couldn't help but smile. It's a deal. That night, both of them tossed and turned and couldn't sleep all night. Early the next morning, Luu got up with dark circles under his eyes. After a quick breakfast, he came to school. The gate of Tsinghua University is extremely crowded today. On the first day of school for freshmen, tens of thousands of freshmen came to report, which can be described as a bustling crowd and extremely lively. As soon as he walked into the school gate, Luu saw Tang Yuan standing on the bus stop in front. There's no way around it, his size is so conspicuous that it's hard not to notice it. Boss. Good morning. When Tang Yuan turned around, he also spotted Luu and greeted him warmly. It's time for you to lose weight. I just walked over there and you were the biggest and the most conspicuous. You're like a stupid bear. Luu walked to Tang Yuan and did not forget to tease him. Hey, how can it be so easy to lose weight? My dad has been clamoring to lose weight for decades. Isn't it still 300 pounds? Tang Yuan didn't seem to care at all. Instead, he took out his father's failure cases and spoke out personally. Seeing that dissuasion was useless, Luu simply stopped asking. The bus stop was already overcrowded at this time. Many students came from out of town and just arrived at school today. Basically everyone was carrying large and small bags. Hey, boss, look. There's a beauty over there. Hey, this figure is so curved. She's so damn beautiful. Tang Yuan pushed Luu and said to him. Luu looked in the direction of Tang Yuan's finger, and his eyes lit up. A girl with a pretty face was walking slowly across the platform, pulling her suitcase. She is tall, Luu estimated her height at around 170 centimeters, with fair skin. She was wearing a black strapless dress, showing off her hot figure. The only flaw is that her expression is as cold as ice, giving people a feeling of being repelled from thousands of miles away. At first glance, she is a cold beauty. The eyes of all the boys on the platform were firmly attracted to her, and her destructive power on the boys can be imagined. Luu took a second look and found it a bit amazing at first, but after taking a few more looks, he found that it seemed to be just like that. He still prefers sweet and cute girls. Thinking of this, the figure of Tiao Tiao suddenly appeared in his mind involuntarily. He sighed. I was thinking too much, and I was just being pretentious. Just as he was about to look away, he found that the woman in black skirt suddenly turned her head and looked towards him, with an imperceptible smile on her cold face. Now the male compatriots on the platform could no longer calm down, and instantly exploded. Holy shit! Did you just see that beautiful woman smiling at me? A short boy with a skinny monkey-like figure said to the person next to him in surprise. You fart! She's obviously smiling at me. She's not even looking at that bitch of yours, ugh! A man with glasses next to him suddenly became unhappy. You four-eyed frog, you have the nerve to criticize me. Why don't you pee and take a photo? Look at the pimples on your face. They are almost as big as the surface of the moon. Not to be outdone, the short boy immediately retorted. Seeing a disagreement, the two sides were about to start a fight. At this moment, a cold voice sounded. You should be Luu, right? At some point, the woman in black skirt came back and stood in front of Luu. At this moment, Luu seemed to be able to hear the heartbroken voices of all the boys in the room. Everyone turned their attention to Luu, and they wanted to see who this guy who stole the goddess in their hearts was. Yes, I am Luu, but how did you recognize me? I don't seem to know you, right? Luu was also a little confused. He didn't remember having dealt with this woman before. Unexpectedly, the woman actually smiled at him. How could I not know about the reputation of King Han City's top scorer in the college entrance examination? Liu suddenly realized that it was reasonable that she learned his information from here. When the results were announced a few months ago, when I heard that Liu had ranked first in King Han City, many TV news in King Han City had reported on his deeds. It is precisely because of this that Liu chooses to hide at home and play games all day long, not wanting to go out and be watched. My name is Qin Shue'er, nice to meet you. As Qin Shue'er spoke, she stretched out her slender hand as if to shake hands with Liu. Liu did not extend his hand, but said calmly, I am also very happy to meet you, but men and women do not kiss each other, so I don't need to shake hands. For a moment, all the men present had the urge to beat up Liu. That was the opportunity that everyone dreamed of. Even if they could touch each other's little hands, they would rather not wash their hands for a year. The guy in front of me actually rejected the other party directly, just wanting to piss them off to death. Qin Shue'er was not angry because of Liu's actions. She just silently pulled her suitcase and walked past the platform again, leaving everyone with a beautiful back view that they could imagine endlessly. Niobe. Boss. Even if I don't support you, I will obey you. Tang Yuan gave Liu a thumbs up. Now he simply worshipped Liu. Chapter 67. Many people were still staring at Liu, which made him feel uncomfortable, so he found an excuse to leave. Tang Yuan, let's walk over. There are so many people here, we won't be able to squeeze in after the meeting. Ah! It's a long way from here to the teaching building of our department. When Tang Yuan heard this, he immediately cried and expressed displeasure. Forget it if you don't come, I'll leave first. After Liu finished speaking, he walked off the platform. Hey, hey! Boss, don't leave yet, wait for me, boss. Seeing this, Tang Yuan quickly shouted and chased after him. He was now counting on Liu to protect him. As long as I can hug Liu's thick legs, I will probably be able to fail a few less subjects at the end of the semester. He still remembered what his father said to him before he left in the morning. If you dare not study hard and fail a lot of classes at the end of the semester, see how I deal with you when I come back. This further strengthened his determination to recognize Liu as his eldest brother. The two walked for almost 20 minutes before finally arriving at their destination. Is this the teaching building of the engineering mechanical department? It's really grand. Liu looked at the brand new teaching building in front of him and said with some emotion. No, Tsinghua University is most famous for its majors in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, which are among the best in the country. How do you know so clearly? Aren't you also a freshman? Liu looked at Tang Yuan, he was a little surprised that this guy knew so many things. Hey, my dad told me all this, how did I know? He scratched his head and said a little embarrassed. Etc. Liu suddenly remembered something. Isn't this building the one your dad donated? I seem to have heard Tang Yuan mention yesterday that his father donated a building to send him to study. Could it be the one in front of him? This, I really don't know. Tang Yuan spread his hands helplessly. His father only said that he spent a lot of money to donate a building, but did not tell him the specific situation. Tang Yuan, is your father's name Tang Sheng? Liu asked abruptly. Yes, hey? How did you know, boss? Tang Yuan looked curious. He had never told Liu his father's name, so how did he know it? Well, isn't it written all over here? Liu pointed to a signed stone tablet in the corner. It says that enthusiastic alumnus Tang Sheng donated. It is now past 8 o'clock in the morning, and there is still some time before the official registration at 9:30. The two of them took a leisurely walk along the flower garden next to the teaching building. When passing a corner, a figure hurriedly ran out from the other side. Liu Guang was busy bragging with Tang Yuan, but without paying attention, he collided with the figure. Ouch! A cry of surprise came, and Liu only felt that his body was hit hard by someone, and he almost fell to the ground. But fortunately, his physical fitness was still good and he adjusted in an instant. But the person who bumped into him was not so lucky, and couldn't help but fall to the side. After a while, Liu quickly hugged the other party. A refreshing fragrance spread into Liu's nose. He subconsciously looked at the person lying in his arms. She turned out to be a young woman, at least 78 years old in appearance, wearing a pair of black-rimmed glasses, a white shirt and a black skirt. Are you okay? Liu straightened her figure and asked softly. The woman felt the masculine aura coming from the man in front of her, and her face turned red. Yes. I'm sorry. I was so anxious just now that I forgot to look at the road. You weren't hurt by me, were you? The woman quickly apologized to Luu. She also knew that it was her responsibility just now. As long as it's okay, what can I do as a grown man? Luu smiled lightly, squatted down, picked up the folder that had just fallen from the woman's arms, and handed it to her. Mechanical Basic Lesson Preparation Lesson Plan. Luu glanced at the name of the folder and was slightly startled. You are a teacher? He asked with some uncertainty. Yes, it's just my first day at work today. Hey, I won't say it anymore. It's too late. I have to get up quickly. The woman looked at the time, thanked her again, and ran away in a hurry. Tang Yuan stood next to Luu, almost wanting to worship him. Boss, you are so awesome, you even dare to flirt with teachers. Damn it, uncle, she had to run into my arms, it wasn't me who was teasing her. Luu said angrily. Hehe, I think this teacher is also a beautiful woman. It would be great if you could handle her. Tang Yuan smiled maliciously. What does this have to do with you? Of course there is a relationship. The relationship is huge. Tang Yu patted his thigh and asked Luu to analyze it. Look, you are my boss. If you can take care of the teacher, wouldn't the teacher become my sister-in-law? It's not easy to fail 2 less subjects by the end of the semester. Is your brain flooded? Luu was speechless. This guy was thinking about all kinds of nonsense every day. Let's go, it's time for us to go to the classroom. We have to line up when we're done. The two of them arrived on the 3rd floor and walked to the first classroom. At this time, there were already many students in the classroom. The class teacher was a middle-aged man named Zhao Digang. His body shape was a little out of shape and he was almost catching up with Tang Yuan. Boss, look at this. Tang Yuan pulled Luu's arm and pointed to a form on the wall. Luu looked at it carefully. It was a list of class members, and Luu's name was at the first place. Qin Shuer? Why is she in this class too? Luu suddenly exclaimed. Qin Shuer's name happened to be listed below Luu, so he saw it at a glance. Boss, let me tell you some sad news. Tang Yuan's face looked a little depressed, as if he had eaten a mouthful of flies. What's wrong? Is something wrong? Qin Shuer seems to be the only girl in the whole class. Luu was stunned and quickly glanced at the list. Damn it, this is really the case, this is simply a bachelor's class. What? What are you looking for me for? Qin Shuer's voice appeared behind Luu like a ghost, almost frightening him to faint. Auntie, can you stop being so elusive? You almost scared me to death. Do you know? Luu covered his pounding heart, still a little scared. Thankfully you are still a grown man. Even this little thing can scare you. Are you too timid? Qin Shuer couldn't help covering her mouth and snickering. Luu was afraid of her. He could see that Qin Shuer was his nemesis. Teacher Zhao, I'm sorry, I'm late. Someone suddenly rushed in at the door. Luu was slightly startled when he saw the person's face. Isn't this the female teacher who just hit me? Shouldn't it? Students, let me introduce to you. This teacher's name is Yazuki, and he will be your counselor from now on. When Zhao De just saw Yazuki coming, he immediately put down what he was doing and smiled happily. Hello, classmates, my name is Yazuki. Please give me your advice in the future. After Yazuki finished speaking, she was about to bow when she found Luu and Tang Yuan with dull faces. She was also a little surprised. Aren't these the 2 students she just met downstairs? Chapter 68. Pfft, brother, what's your name? Did I hear you right, beast? Tang Yuan and Luu both had expressions of laughter on their faces. How could anyone be called by such a name? Yes, my name is Qin Shao, the Qin of Qin Shi Wang, the longevity of the birthday star. Qin Shao, is there any problem? Qin Shao has become accustomed to this kind of thing. His parents asked an old Taoist priest to tell him a fortune before he was born. The old Taoist priest said that he would have a short life and should be given a name with a long life. Thus, the name Qin Shao was born. He still doesn't understand that if he wants to live longer, he should be named Qin Chongsheng. Why not Qin Chongsheng? He has to give him such a shocking name. Growing up, everyone couldn't help but laugh at him whenever they heard his name. But from another perspective, his name is indeed unique and impressive, so he has a high sense of presence, which also leads to his very outgoing personality and likes to make friends. After getting to know each other, Qin Shao put on his headphones again and began to indulge in his beautiful singing. Tang Yuan quickly stopped him. Hey, hey! I said Qin Shao, can you stop singing? Don't pollute my ears anymore, okay? I haven't had lunch yet. If you sing again, it will make me sick to my stomach. Tang Yuan said bluntly. Qin Shao was not angry, but patiently told Tang Yuan the story of the song. Oh, you don't understand. Really? Don't lie to me. Tang Yuan was a little dizzy by his deception and asked doubtfully. Then I can still lie to you. My parents are both her die-hard fans. Damn it, your parents are too awesome. Tang Yuan was a little shocked. What kind of top parents are these? At this time, the door was pushed open again, and a boy with eyes and a rather quiet look walked in. Seeing so many people in the room, he suddenly became a little nervous and said hesitantly, hello, please, is this, dormitory 301? Liu nodded to him and said, yeah, what's the matter? I am also from dormitory 301. My name is Zhao Kuo. The boy named Zhao Kuo spoke in a very reserved tone and looked a little embarrassed. Liu could tell Zhao Kuo's character at a glance. He was in the same situation as before. He is introverted, has low self-esteem, and is very shy. Liu noticed that he was dressed very plainly, without any brand name, his shoes were very worn, and his glasses had a broken leg, which was fixed with transparent tape. His family conditions were probably very average. Even poverty. Although the conditions of Liu's family were very poor before, their food, clothing, housing and transportation were still guaranteed. It was just that the financial pressure was relatively high and they could save money on daily expenses. Zhao Kuo? Is he that Zhao Kuo who calls a deer a horse? I think I've heard of it. Tang Yuan seemed to have some impression of this name, so he began to show off his talents, hoping to leave a good impression on others as well informed. Fat man, that's Zhao Gao you're talking about, the eunuch, and Zhao Kuo is the one on paper. Don't talk nonsense if you don't understand, it's so embarrassing. Liu pointed out the error in his words without mercy. He felt that if he kept hanging out with him, his IQ would be lowered. Ah? Is that so? Qin Shao was almost laughing beside him, while Tang Yuan touched his head in embarrassment. This time, he was very embarrassed. After the four people got to know each other, they soon chatted together. Among the four, Liu is the most normal, a fat guy who makes loud noises, likes to brag, and uses his brain a little bit, but he is not a bad person. Qin Shao, on the other hand, is very particular about brotherly loyalty. He also calls himself a veteran in love and has fascinated thousands of girls. He likes to chat with different girls on his mobile phone whenever he has nothing to do. Zhao Kuo is a relatively quiet type. It is very comfortable to talk to him. He will listen carefully and then answer you slowly. He is a very rational person. Liu was a little lucky that his roommates all seemed pretty good. At least they had good tempers and were not the irritable type. I have to live with them for 4 years of college, so it would be troublesome if someone stung me. It was noon in a blink of an eye, and Tang Yuanfei was clamoring to go out for barbecue. He still couldn't forget the barbecue in that restaurant last time. Qin Shao said he had no objection, and Liu had no objection. Only Zhao Kuo didn't speak, looking a little embarrassed. Liu saw his dilemma and spoke to help him. Fat man, haven't you always said that you want to recognize me as your big brother? I won't pay for this meal. It's up to you. Liu glanced at the fat man. He looked at Zhao Kuo, who had his head lowered next to him, and understood immediately. Fat man, he is your eldest brother, and I will be your second brother from now on. I also want to spend this meal for free. Isn't it just a meal? I'm treating you, let's go. Tang Yuan slapped his thigh and said boldly. Qin Shao laughed and walked out of the dormitory with him arm in arm. Both of them had outgoing and optimistic personalities and it was easy to get along with each other. Zhao Kuo, let's go. Why are you still standing there? If you're late, you'll have to queue up. Liu pulled Zhao Kuo up. Zhao Kuo originally wanted to politely refuse, but was unable to resist Liu's enthusiastic invitation, so he had to go along. He is not a native of Qinghan City. He comes from a remote town in the north. His family conditions are very poor and he has a younger brother who has just entered junior high school. He originally did not plan to go to school because the high tuition fees were a heavy burden for the entire family. Zhao Kuo originally thought about going out to work outside of high school to make money so that his younger brother could go to school, but his parents were firmly opposed and insisted on letting him go to school. In order to raise tuition fees, my parents went everywhere to borrow money from relatives in a humble manner, and were often looked down upon. When his parents handed the money to him, Zhao Kuo cried and promised his parents that he would study hard and make a lot of money as soon as possible so that they could live a good life. He lived frugally all the way, and after paying his tuition, he only had a few hundred yuan left, which could be said to be very stretched. When Tang Yuan said he was going to eat barbecue just now, his heart skipped a beat. How can he have the money to eat barbecue? It is estimated that until he finds a part-time job, he can only eat white steamed buns and pickled mustard. But he was too embarrassed to say that he couldn't go. These roommates were pretty good, at least they didn't look down on him or discriminate against him because he was from out of town. In fact, he had already seen Lu's words and deeds just now. He was very touched that someone would take such care of his feelings. For the first time, he felt the warmth among friends. Chapter 69. The four of them came to the barbecue restaurant, chose a table and sat down. The service guy from last time, Zhang Hanfan, was here today. When he saw Lu and others walking into the store, he immediately came over to say hello. Thank you for your help about what happened last time, otherwise I would have been kept in the dark. I really don't know how to thank you. It's okay. You don't need to thank us. You just need to help us roast the meat to make it more delicious. This fat man is still obsessed with your craftsmanship. Lu waved his hand, saying you're welcome. Okay, I guarantee everyone will be satisfied. The meal was so enjoyable that even Zhao Kuo, who was originally very introverted, let go and gradually became mingled with several people. Hey, Lao Qin, Minecraft Online will be in public beta in 2 days. Do you want to play with us? Big Brother will take you flying. Tang Yuan's mouth was full of barbecue and he said vaguely. I won't go, I won't go. I don't have the time. What fun is there in games? It's so exciting to fall in love with a girl. Do you want me to introduce you to a partner? Qin Sha rejected his invitation without thinking. He had just added a girl today and was having a lively chat. How could he think about playing games? He has been in love since junior high school, and he has a new girlfriend every once in a while, and they are always the kind who can still be good friends after breaking up. It is not without reason that Qin Shao calls himself the saint of love. TCH, I have never seen such a superficial person like you. A woman will only delay the speed of my sword. Other than that, it has no other use. Tang Yuan said disdainfully that he was not interested in falling in love at all. Lu on the side wanted to say, given your conditions, unless the other party is blind, he might be able to like you. But he refrained from saying that we were all friends, so there was no need to be so vicious and hurt others. Besides, he is also a love idiot with zero relationship experience, so he is not qualified to give advice to others. Zhao Kuo, what about you, do you want to play with us? He turned his head and looked at Zhao Kuo beside him. Me? Let me forget it. I don't have the money to buy those holographic gaming glasses. Zhao Kuo waved his hand quickly. He didn't even have enough money to buy gaming glasses, so he never thought about it. It's okay. I have 2 pairs of glasses. I can lend you 1 pair. It will be fun for everyone to play together. Lu continued to persuade Zhao Kuo. But I still have to find a part-time job to make money. I don't have time. Zhao Kuo was also a little entangled. Although he also wanted to go, he still had to put real life first. But he was embarrassed to refuse Lu's kindness, after all, he was so kind to him. It's okay. You can still make money in that game. It's guaranteed to be more than what you would make if you did a part-time job. Besides, Tang Yuan is a master of internal testing. Isn't it easy to lead us to make a fortune? Don't you think so? Lu looked at Zhao Kuo and then at Tang Yuan, his meaning was obvious. Yes, yes. Follow me and I'll make sure you have something to eat. I'm one of the top 5,000 players in the beta. As soon as Tang Yuan heard Lu mention his great achievements, he immediately put down the barbecue in his hand and said repeatedly. Lu almost laughed. Among the top 5,000 players in the closed beta, there were only more than 5,000 players left at the end of the closed beta. He ranked 5,000, which was no different from the bottom. Really, can you make money? Zhao Kuo was a little moved by what they said. He had just come to Qinghan City and was unfamiliar with the place, so it was not convenient to do anything. If he could really make money by playing games with them, he would be extremely happy. Do I look like the person who deceived you? If you can't make money, then... Liu paused, glanced at Tang Yuan, and said maliciously, then let Tang Yuan treat us to dinner every day. Don't you think so? Tang Yuan. Tang Yuan was a little stunned when he heard this. What's going on with the boss? Why does it involve me again? But now that the boss has spoken, he must have his own plans. He has boasted so much that he is now riding a tiger. Old Zhao, this matter is all on me. If I can't make any money, I will treat you to meals for a month and I will never regret it. After saying this, he felt like his heart was bleeding. Damn it, if he couldn't make money this time, he would suffer a big loss. Then, okay, but I haven't played it before, so I might be very bad at it. Zhao Kuo nodded and said worriedly. It's okay, I'm pretty good at it too. Anyway, there's a master here to help us fly, so don't be afraid. Liu said very modestly. Tang Yuan was forcing a smile there, trying not to let anyone notice his guilty conscience. He swore that he had really just boasted a few words before. Why did the boss take it seriously? If it were revealed that he was a noob, I wouldn't know where to turn my face. Forget it, take one step and take a look. Although he is a bad player, he is still a player who has gone through the closed beta and survived to the end. It should not be a big problem to lead two newbies. I'm sorry, are you talking about Minecraft Online? Zhang Hanfan, who had been listening silently for a while, finally couldn't hold himself back and asked aloud. Yes, what's the matter? Liu was slightly stunned and looked at him with some doubts. It's like this. I'm also an old player in the closed beta. I just ran out of rebirths in the middle and never played again. I just heard you guys discussing games, and I heard you say you can make money by playing games. Is this true? Zhang Hanfan's eyes were full of expectation. Liu hesitated for a moment, nodded, and gave him a positive answer. It is said that after the open beta, the gold coins in the game can be exchanged for real money. 1 gold coin is equal to 100 real money. It should be no problem to make a little money. Zhang Hanfan's eyes lit up when he heard this. Although there was nothing left in his account, with his gaming experience, it shouldn't be a big problem to get some gold coins to sell. Then, when the time comes, can I play with you? I'm a beta player. I can't say how strong I am, but I certainly won't drag you down. As soon as he heard that Zhang Hanfan was actually a beta player, Tang Yuan immediately felt that his wallet was saved. Yes. If you want to join us, you can anytime. You are welcome. He hurriedly agreed to his request, fearing that he would suddenly change his mind. The power of one person is limited. If there is another beta player, it might be okay. Tang Yuan agreed so readily, so Liu naturally knew what he was thinking. But see through it without telling it off. With him around, even if you play with your feet, Liu can take you flying. Are you students from Qinghan University? Zhang Hanfan asked about the origins of several people. Yes, we are all freshmen, living in the same dormitory. Great. I am also a student at Xingan University. I am a sophomore this year. I will come to see you then. Which building are you in? Building 9, dormitory 301, where are you? Liu asked rhetorically. What a coincidence, I also live in building 9, dormitory 402, just above you. Zhang Hanfan looked happy. He didn't expect these people to be so close. What a fate. Chapter 70. After lunch, Liu and others said goodbye to Zhang Hanfan and returned to the dormitory. Today is the first day of school. There are no classes to attend, so the 4 of us are staying in the dormitory blowing on the air conditioner to cool off. Liu heard from his father that he had to undergo military training before going to college. It was very hard and he had to stand in the hot sun for several hours every day. However, later people discovered that military training was of no use other than making people tan a little. Instead, they complained so much that it was simply cancelled. Otherwise, he would have to stand under the sun for several hours on such a hot day. Liu couldn't imagine how beautiful that scene would be. With Tang Yuan's physique, he would probably suffer from heat stroke in less than an hour. Qin Shao was lying on the bed, his fingers never stopping, tapping on the screen. He swiped his finger across the screen, and suddenly his eyes lit up and he shouted repeatedly. Hey, hey! Brothers, come and see! Old Qin, can't you let me sleep peacefully for a while? Tang Yuan was lying on the bed and was about to fall asleep, but was woken up by his voice, and he suddenly felt unhappy. Have a good sleep. Come and see the good stuff. Qin Shao slapped him on the butt, completely waking him up. Liu and Zhao Kuo also gathered around him curiously, wanting to see what he saw. What's going on? Tang Yuan had no choice but to get up with his eyes closed, and came to sit next to Qin Shao. Qinghan University flower list? What is this for? He scratched his head in confusion. Asked in confusion. Nonsense, of course it's a list ranking all the beauties in Qinghan University. Qin Shao rolled his eyes at him. This guy seemed like a fool and didn't know anything. Oh, that's it? What's good about women? Tang Yuan pretended to be dismissive, but before he finished speaking, he froze. He stared straight at a girl on the screen. She looked sweet, playful, and cute, and it simply took away his soul. Damn, this girl is so beautiful. She seems to be on par with Qin Shuai in our class. Tang Yuan swallowed his saliva and said that he was not too interested in the aloof beauty like Qin Shuai. On the contrary, this cute type was more lethal to him. That's not true. This beauty is a dark horse among the freshmen. Her name is Liu Xiaotao, and she is a freshman in the biology department. Qin Shao began to act as a know-it-all to everyone. Although he was also a freshman, he often hung out in campus forums and knew a lot. Liu Xiaotao? Why does this name sound familiar? Liu put his head over and took a look, and was dumbfounded. Isn't this Tiao Tiao? Why is she here? He had almost forgotten Tiao Tiao's real name. The last time he met her father, he seemed to have heard him mention it once. Boss, what's your expression? Is it possible that you know her? Tang Yuan and Liu looked a little strange and asked curiously. No, I don't know her. Liu quickly denied it. If this guy Tang Yuan knew about it, he might not know what would happen if word got out. Real. Tang Yuan always felt that Liu was lying to him. Oh, why did I lie to you? If I knew such a beautiful girl, why would I hide it from you? Liu had no choice but to bite the bullet and continue to explain. That seems to be the truth, but boss, if you like it, you can pursue her. Maybe it will happen. Tang Yuan smiled maliciously and winked at him. Dream, even if I really like her, why would she like me? Besides, you are yelling so fiercely, why don't you go and insist on encouraging me to go? Liu rolled his eyes and said angrily. This Tang Yuan was very gossipy. He got excited whenever his relationship problems were mentioned. He wanted to attract all the girls he saw to be Liu's girlfriend. Boss, I know my own conditions, so I won't pursue this big dream. You are different. You have good grades, you are not ugly, and you have a good temper. Maybe you really have a chance to win this road. As for Xiaotao, I think you are a good match for her. Tang Yuan chuckled. It is said that a toad wants to eat swan meat, but he is not even as good as a toad, let alone eat swan meat. He can just stand and watch from a distance. The other two people also nodded, seeming to think that Liu could do this. Okay, let's skip this topic for now. Liu was a little worried by the three people and quickly changed the topic. The public beta of Minecraft Online will be launched the day after tomorrow. Should the three of us build a union first? Trade union? It sounds a bit over the top. Let's talk about it in detail. Tang Yuan tilted his head and thought about it carefully. It felt pretty good to build a union of his own, with the boss as the president and him as the vice president. As long as the union is managed properly, there will definitely be more and more players in the future, and then you can show off in front of everyone. Zhao Kuo was confused. He had never played games since he was a child and had no idea what the union was about, so he didn't speak at all. Since we want to establish a union, we must first give our union a resounding name. Do you have any good suggestions? Seeing that Tang Yuan no longer seemed to be obsessed with his emotional problems, Liu breathed a sigh of relief. How about calling it the Supreme Domain? It definitely sounds domineering. Tang Yuan rolled his eyes and thought of a name. I don't think it will work. Let's try another one. When Luu heard this name, he thought it was unacceptable and immediately rejected it. Brotherhood, what does this name mean? Zhao Kuo also gave his own suggestions, but Luu rejected them. Hey, you guys just take your time here and think about it, I'll go out for a while. Qin Shao stood up from the bed and was about to go out. Why are you going? There's no class today. Tang Yuan turned his head and looked at Qin Shao at the door and asked. Hey, it's a secret, I can't tell you. Qin Shao said to several people mysteriously. TCH. Do you think I won't know if you don't tell me? You must be dating some little sister again. Am I right? Tang Yuan could use his butt to think of Qin Shao's little thoughts. Qin Shao was too lazy to talk nonsense with a few people, closed the door and left the dormitory in a hurry. After an afternoon of intense discussion, the remaining 3 people finally decided on the name of the union. Okay, since everyone agrees, I announce that the Cube Paradise Union will be officially established from today. Luu raised his arms and called out, and Cube Paradise was established. All is ready except for the opportunity. At this time, the 3 people still don't know that the block paradise they created today will write legendary stories one after another in the future game world. Chapter 71. During dinner, the 3 of them went to the cafeteria of Qinghan University together. There are many dishes here and the prices are low. Even a student like Zhao Kuo who is on a tight budget can eat enough without spending too much money. After returning to the dormitory after dinner, Tang Yuan was bored and began to explain some basic operations and synthesis methods in the game to Luu and Zhao Kuo. Luu pretended to listen carefully to what he was boasting about, and nodded in agreement. However, although what Tang Yuan said was very basic, it was indeed of great help to Zhao Kuo. He listened very carefully and took out a pen and paper to take notes, for fear of missing some important knowledge points. It was not until almost 10 o'clock in the evening that Qin Shao hurried back to the dormitory and almost missed the access control. Seeing the cheerful look on his face, Luu could probably guess something. This guy must be getting along very well with the girl, so he is so happy. Early the next morning, when Luu just got up, Tang Yuan and Qin Shao were still fast asleep, and only Zhao Kuo was missing. Just when he was a little confused, the dormitory door was opened and Zhao Kuo walked in. Why did you get up so early? Luu asked curiously. I used to get up at 45 o'clock every day to do farm work in my hometown, so I couldn't sleep. I had nothing to do anyway, so I just went out to have breakfast. Here, I brought these portions for you. He shook several bags containing breakfast in his hands. Smell good. Tang Yuan's nose was even sharper than a dog's. He could smell the fragrance in his sleep, and he got up from the bed. Ouch! Lao Zhao! I'm so cute on you. He was wearing only a pair of underpants, and with his eyes still squinting, he just took the breakfast and started to wolf down it. Old Zhao, good brother. Qin Shao was also awakened by the tempting fragrance, and he gave Zhao Kuo a thumbs up. Luu stopped being polite to him and sat directly by the bed, wiping out the breakfast brought by Zhao Kuo. After eating and drinking, and washing up, the group of people in dormitory 301 went downstairs to the classroom. When they walked to the door, Luu and others happened to bump into Zhang Hanfan who was about to go downstairs. Brother Feng, good morning. Are you still going to work part-time today? Luu smiled and greeted him. I won't go. Yesterday was the last day. From today on, I have to prepare for class. They were all students from the same department, and the teaching buildings were all in the same place. They just happened to be on the way, and they just happened to chat and relieve their boredom on the way. By the way, there is a recruitment event for the school club this afternoon. Do you want to go and take a look? Club recruitment? What's that for? Is it fun? Luu asked in shock. They are some multi-person groups organized by students based on their own interests and hobbies. I heard that there are many new gaming clubs this year. If you join the club, you can also use Magic Maker's latest gaming glasses for free. Is that so? Okay, let's go take a look together then. Luu and Zhang Hanfan made an appointment to meet, but he wanted to see what those so-called game clubs were about. Arriving at the ground floor of the teaching building, the 2 groups parted ways. There is only one class in the morning today, and after that, there is nothing to do. Zhao Kuo was a good student who listened carefully and sat in the front rows. The other 3 people in dormitory 301 consciously sat in the last few rows of the classroom. Tang Yuan slept in class as usual, while Qin Xiao pretended to listen to the class, but was actually chatting with the girl underneath, not to mention how attentive he was. It had been a few minutes since class started, but Qin Shuai didn't show up, which made Liu feel a little more at ease. He always felt that this Qin Shuai had some opinions about him and was targeting him everywhere. It would be a good idea not to come and save him from being upset. With a creak, the classroom door was pushed open, and Qin Shuai's pretty figure appeared at the door. The teacher didn't say anything and asked her to find a seat and sit down. Liu's heart skipped a beat because he saw Qin Shuai walking towards him. "Old Qin, help me block it." Liu quickly pushed Qin Xiao, wanting him to sit next to him and prevent Qin Shuai from getting too close to him. Beauty is a disaster, we can't avoid it. Unexpectedly, Qin Xiao was like a mouse seeing a cat, more panicked than himself. As soon as Liu spoke, he was immediately ready to run away. "Brother, why are you running?" Qin Shuai grabbed the corner of his clothes and said coldly. "Elder brother." Liu almost fell off the chair. Qin Shuai actually called Qin Xiao brother? Only then did he realize that the two people looked somewhat similar. "Oh, aunt, please don't call me brother. We are cousins. Be careful of others' misunderstanding." Qin Xiao cried and begged for mercy. "You go sit in front, this is my seat." Qin Shuai said expressionlessly. "Lao Liu, I'm sorry. Brother, take the first step." If Qin Xiao was granted amnesty, he quickly moved forward from the last few rows until he ran to Zhao Kuo's side, and then he breathed a sigh of relief. He and Qin Shuai were cousins, and neither of them were locals. Before leaving, his parents handed over the power of life and death to Qin Shuai. If he finds that he is not studying well, he can report it directly to them, and then he will suffer. Therefore, he, who was usually the most loyal to brothers, had to leave his brothers and run away. After all, his life was at stake. Liu has a black line on his end, and Qin Xiao is too unreliable. Qin Shuai is no longer dressed in a strapless black dress today. She wears a short-sleeved t-shirt on her upper body and a pair of denim shorts on her lower body. Her long, fair, and delicate legs are exposed to the air. They are so eye-catching that even Liu can't bear it. I couldn't help but take a second look. Today, Qin Shuai is like a young girl full of youth, but the feeling of being rejected from others thousands of miles away is still there. The pleasant fragrance came from her body, making Liu unable to concentrate on the lecture, and his whole brain was in a blur. The bell finally came late. Liu let out a sigh of relief, and cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Why does Qin Shuai always want to sit next to him? Is it possible that she likes him? There was no reason. He had treated her so badly on the platform that day and even humiliated her in public. She should hate herself to the core, right? Puzzled, Liu felt a little annoyed. Although he wanted to ask Qin Shuai face to face, he couldn't save his dignity to talk to her, so he had to give up. After suffering until lunchtime, Liu stood up from his seat and prepared to leave. But there was a wall on the left. If he wanted to go out from here, he had to pass by Qin Shuai, which put him in trouble. Tang Yuan finally woke up, and just turned around to call Liu to eat. When he turned around, he saw Qin Shuai with a frosty face. He was so frightened that he quickly retracted his neck and stopped talking. "Boss, I have something else to do, so I have to leave first. Bye." Tang Yuan also followed Qin Xiao's lead and decisively sold Liu and ran away. "Damn it, uncle! You damn fat man! Are you still human?" Liu couldn't help but cursed behind him. Chapter 72. When the last person in the classroom left, Qin Shuai and Liu were the only two people left in the huge lecture hall. "Are you just going to waste time with me like this?" Qin Shuai said suddenly. Oh. I'll just tell you the truth." Liu raised his voice a few points to embolden himself and risk it all. "Qin Shuai, are you very dissatisfied with me because I embarrassed you in front of everyone yesterday? If so, I would like to express my most sincere apology to you. I didn't mean to embarrass you." After saying this, Liu felt much more comfortable. He quietly looked at Qin Shuai's facial expression, trying to discern some clues. "You are thinking too much, and it has nothing to do with what happened yesterday." Qin Shuai's face was calm, and Liu couldn't tell her mental activities at the moment. "Then why are you always pestering me? I'm not familiar with you. Could it be that you like me?" Lu simply took his shamelessness to the extreme. No. Qin Shue'er's answer was concise, without any emotion. Now Lu was even more anxious. You don't like me or hate me, so what are you thinking? When he said this, he was already a little broken. Qin Shue'er suddenly stood up from her seat and walked slowly to Lu. Lu's whole body froze inexplicably, and he just watched Qin Shue'er walking over, getting closer and closer. She slowly brought her face close to Lu's head, and Lu could even see every strand of her hair. Could it be that she wanted to molest herself? His first kiss and everything are still there. Qin Shue'er put her mouth next to Lu's ear and whispered softly. Your college entrance examination score ranks first among the freshmen in this class, and I rank second. There is only 1 point difference between us. I have been competing with others since I was a child, but I have never lost. You are the first person to defeat me. So what? Lu asked subconsciously. So, I want you to be my boyfriend. Lu's eyes widened, as if he heard something incredible. Why choose me? He was very confused as to what attracted her to him. There is no reason. This is a rule I have set for myself. As long as someone can defeat me, I will marry him willingly. Qin Shue'er's tone was very calm, as if she was talking about a very trivial matter. Can I refuse? What do you think? Qin Shue'er did not answer him, but asked directly. Okay, I understand. Lu sighed and said softly. At present, it seems that I can't get rid of Qin Shue'er for the time being, so I can only pretend to agree first and talk about it later. Funny. A bright smile suddenly bloomed on Qin Shue'er's face, which made Lu look a little crazy. This was the first time he saw Qin Shue'er who could smile, and Qin Shue'er who had a cold face were completely different people. Just as Lu was stunned, he suddenly felt a pair of soft lips gently falling on his left cheek. Lu suddenly felt like he was struck by lightning. This is a meeting ceremony. Qin Shue'er smiled at him, turned around and left the classroom quickly. Lu stood there blankly for a long time, and there seemed to be a trace of residual heat left on the lip mark on his left face. Does this count as being forcibly kissed? After a quick lunch, Lu and Qin Xiao went to the agreed place to meet Zhang Hanfan. The group of people walked directly towards their destination. Boss, what did Beauty Qin do to you? Seeing as you've been unconscious since lunch, you must have fallen in love with her, right? Tang Yuan couldn't help but joked from the side. Uncle, stop talking nonsense. Be careful, I'll beat you up. Lu cursed angrily. Hey, Lu, I think you are very suitable to be my cousin-in-law. That's great. How about I help you match him up? Qin Xiao also had a bad smile on his face. He wished that Qin Shue'er would stare at Lu all day long, so that he wouldn't have to worry about being reported. It's a good thing that you are still her cousin, so you can say such things. Lu was speechless. How come this family's brain circuits are so weird? I don't want to hear what you are saying. Isn't my cousin good looking? She's so much better than the new school beauty Lu Xiaotao. How many people broke their heads and wanted to chase her, but I didn't even agree. If it weren't for the fact that you are my brother, how could I push her into your arms? It's also because I am loyal and don't let anyone else have my wealth. Do you understand? Qin Xiao looked distressed, as if it was a difficult decision to introduce his cousin to Lu. Zhang Hanfan and Zhao Kuo couldn't help but chuckle. Lu suddenly missed the time spent in the game with Lu Xiaotao. There must be many outstanding boys chasing him now, right? He sighed softly, feeling a little uncomfortable in his heart. After walking for more than 10 minutes, they finally arrived at a large square. Although it was just afternoon, many people had already gathered in the venue. Here we are, this is where the club recruits new members. Let's walk around here. Zhang Hanfan took a few people around and found several gaming clubs. Without exception, they are all recruiting members for the upcoming public beta of Minecraft Online, and some wealthy societies will even provide salary subsidies to their members. Boss, how about we also set up a club to recruit more people? Tang Yuan suggested. After Lu thought about it, it seemed that it was really possible, so he nodded in agreement. Several people applied for a place in a club, brought tables and chairs, and started recruiting members on the spot. Their income advertising is very simple. Anyone who joins the club will use the game glasses for free. They will be led by veteran beta players. All income from the game will be at their own disposal, and the club will not take a penny. The conditions seemed very attractive, but after sitting there all afternoon, no one signed up at all. Only a few students would look at them twice when they passed by. Everyone sighed in frustration and prepared to pack their things and go back. At this moment, a beautiful figure appeared in front of several people. "Excuse me, is your club recruiting people?" Luu was slightly startled. Why did this voice sound so familiar? "Are you Liu Xiaotao?" He looked up and his expression suddenly became dull. "Hey? You know me?" Liu Xiaotao was a little surprised. She had no impression of the person in front of her. Where did he know her? But after taking a closer look, she suddenly felt that the person in front of her looked familiar, but she couldn't remember it for a while. Chapter 73. Qin Xiao and Tang Yuan on the side were dumbfounded. The new school beauty Liu Xiaotao actually said that she wanted to join their club? Are they dreaming? No, I just heard someone mention you. Liu quickly explained that he could not let himself be exposed now. That's it. Then, do you want to accept people in your club? I also want to join. Take it. Take it. Take it. Before Liu could refuse, Tang Yuan hurriedly agreed. In this way, Liu Xiaotao inexplicably became a member of their club. Liu had a headache now. He made an excuse and wanted to run away, but before he could take 2 steps, he was stopped by someone. Wait a minute, I want to join too. At some point, Qin Shui also appeared here. At this moment, the male compatriots near the square became excited. 2 new school beauties actually appeared at the same time. This is a rare scene. Liu wanted to pretend that he didn't hear it, and kept walking forward. Liu, where are you going? Qin Shui asked coldly. Liu. Hearing this, Liu Xiaotao's exclamation also sounded at the same time. Liu felt his heart suddenly stop and his mind went blank. Liu, it's really you. Liu Xiaotao finally recalled that the person in front of her looked somewhat similar to Liu in the game, and his name was also Liu. I didn't expect that these 2 people were so destined to meet here. I just don't know why, but he seems to be avoiding me. Liu had no choice but to turn around slowly, his face pale. The onlookers didn't know what happened, but they suddenly screamed at the same time. Qin Shui actually walked up to the boy and took his left arm, looking very intimate. Now everyone couldn't calm down anymore. The wife they had just identified in their hearts was holding hands with another man so quickly. This was simply heartbreaking. Come on, let's go eat together. Qin Shui leaned her head on Liu's arm and said softly. Liu only felt as if there were countless pairs of eyes staring at him. Liu, you. Liu Xiaotao suddenly felt a twitch in her heart when she saw Liu being so close to a woman. An indescribable and huge feeling of loss filled her body, making her voice tremble. She felt her nose was sore, her eyes instantly turned red, and she tried to hold her breath. Does it turn out that he likes this type of girl? She is more mature and cooler than her, but she does seem a bit childish in comparison. Liu Xiaotao turned around and left with a lonely expression. Looking at her leaving back, Liu didn't know why, but his heart hurt so much that he even found it difficult to breathe. All of a sudden, all kinds of thoughts came to my mind, and my heart felt like it had been hit hard. The change happened so quickly. Qin Shui frowned slightly and looked at Liu. Who is she? I want to be alone, don't follow me. Liu threw her arm away and walked straight in the opposite direction to Liu Xiaotao. Everything happened so fast that most people didn't even know what was going on. But a piece of news has broken out on campus forums. A freshman named Liu actually has an unexplainable relationship with 2 new school beauties. This is huge news. Liu walked to the playground. He started walking in circles along the track, feeling depressed and uneasy. He took out his cell phone and sent 2 text messages to Tiao, but no one responded for a long time. He sighed, he was unlucky today. After returning to the dormitory in the evening, the other 3 people did not laugh at him. They could see that Liu was in a bad mood. That night, Liu had several dreams, in which the figures of Qin Shui and Liu Xiaotao appeared alternately, keeping him awake all night. There was no class today on Saturday. He took an unprecedented nap in the morning and was not woken up by Tang Yuan until nearly 9 o'clock. Boss, Minecraft Online will be open for public testing in half an hour. Why don't you get up? Tang Yuan asked worriedly. Only then did Liu remember that there was such a thing, so he quickly got dressed and jumped out of bed. By the time he finished washing up and came out of the bathroom, Minecraft Online had just begun its public beta. Tang Yuan and Zhao Kuo have already started logging in to create characters. Liu quickly put on his glasses and entered the game. As soon as he logged into his account, Liu saw the character he originally used, the witty cube man, with the 4-letter golden title of the strongest player hanging conspicuously above his head. After thinking for a moment, he decided to create a new trumpet. Otherwise, the fat man would probably be frightened out of his wits if he revealed his identity as the last big man. It's better to keep a low profile. As long as you have the skills, you can still show off on a trumpet. A new character was created again, ID Guardian Cube Chan, the screen flashed, and the giant square appeared again. This is where the dream begins. Boss, I'm here. What's your name? I'll add you as a friend. Invincible Fatty requests to add you as a friend. Liu was slightly startled. He still had some impression of this Invincible Fatty. It was the guy who held his thigh and asked for the friend status on the day the closed beta ended. But he never expected that Tang Yuan was that die-hard fan. What a coincidence. A stranger in the game actually calls him boss in real life. If Tang Yuan knew the truth, he would probably die suddenly from excitement. But Liu obviously wouldn't give him this chance. Everyone. Welcome to Minecraft Online. I am the game producer Notch. I am also a creator. I am very happy to meet you here. Today is a good day for the open beta of Minecraft Online. You have all seen it more or less in advertisements or in the news. Notch was still standing high, overlooking the many players. As a new journey is about to begin, I would like to announce some new changes. Please be sure to listen carefully. After the open beta, we added and improved many new things. Now the game is divided into a survival world and a safe zone. The survival world has no regulations like the internal test, and the safe zone is a newly added place this time. In the safe zone, everyone will be in peaceful mode and cannot fight. Players can use gold coins to buy a piece of land of their own in the safe zone and build a residence here. Of course, now in the survival world, you can also use territory commands to enclose territory. Of course, gold coins are still required. Gold coins in the game can be directly exchanged for real money, and real money can also be exchanged for gold coins. In short, gold coins are very important. Let's work hard for gold coins. Chapter 74. There are still 10 minutes left for random teleportation, and players who need to form a team have begun to look for partners. Liu formed Zhao Kuo and Tang Yuan into the team. Zhao Kuo's ID was Jianduoduo, and his purpose was really clear. The three of them are still waiting for Zhang Hanfan's arrival. They had agreed to enter the game together before, but they haven't seen him yet. Boss, that guy won't pigeonhole us, right? Tang Yuan looked at the time and saw that there were less than 5 minutes left. If he couldn't form a team before the time was up, it would be troublesome. While several people were waiting anxiously, Liu's large account Witty Cube Man received an offline message. Liu opened the message and saw that it was sent by Tiao Tiao. He felt a little uneasy, mixed with joy and worry. Since she is still willing to send herself a message, it means that she should be emotionally stable now, but I don't know what she thinks of herself now. Cute jump, Liu, is that Qin Shuer, really your girlfriend? Cute jump, I have no other intention. I just want to hear it from you. Cute jump, if it is true, I think I should not join your club, so as not to cause misunderstandings between you. Cute jump, Liu, are you there? If you see it, can you please reply to me? After reading this, Liu suddenly felt that he was a bit of a jerk. He should have chased her and explained it to her instead of escaping like a coward. The relationship between him and Tiao Tiao is a bit subtle. They are said to be friends, but their friendship seems to be mixed with some other emotions. To be honest, Liu has very complicated feelings for Tiao Tiao. She said she liked it, but it was mixed with some gratitude. After all, she was the one who helped her mother with her illness. If you say you don't like it, you're lying to yourself. Let me ask, who can refuse a gentle, cute, and good-tempered girl? Therefore, Liu has always been very confused. Liu originally planned to create a small account to play with Tang Yuan and the others after the public beta, and to hide and jump while doing so. He could also see that Tiao Tiao was somewhat dependent on him, but he felt that he was not worthy of a girl as good as Tiao Tiao. He didn't want to sink too deep. If the dream came to nothing when he woke up, it would be very painful for him. When Qin Shui'er proposed to be his girlfriend, his heart was numb. He wanted to refuse, but then he thought, this might be an opportunity. An opportunity that made him completely forget about Diao Diao, so he agreed to Qin Shui'er. But he never expected that Liu Xiaotao would break into his life like a wild horse running wild. He originally thought that in this way, he could gradually forget about Diao Diao until he forgot about each other in this life. But it wasn't until her sudden appearance that Liu understood that some things and some people had been engraved in his bones. Unless he dies, he can never truly forget. This caught Liu off guard. What should he do? Should he continue to be with Qin Shui'er, or should he boldly tell Diao Diao his feelings? Liu only felt that his head was about to split, and this would simply kill him. He had been holding back his words and wanted to tell Liu Xiaotao, but he didn't have the courage. People will always be timid and hesitant in front of the people they care about. Because Liu knew very well that if his words were spoken, it would very likely lead to the two of them saying goodbye forever. Just when he couldn't make up his mind, Tao Xiao's message came over again. Cute jump, Liu, I know you are avoiding me. If you really hate me, I will never bother you again. Seeing this, Liu's heart felt stinging again, as if someone had stabbed his heart hard with a needle. It was extremely painful. He couldn't bear it any longer, so he switched accounts and logged in as the Witty Cube Man. Players of Minecraft Online, please note that the strongest player Witty Cube Man is online. A world announcement suddenly appeared, and all online players received an online reminder. This is an extra reward Notch gives to the top player on the gold coin list, the exclusive title Strongest Player. Although it does not have any attribute or special effect bonus, it is of great significance. First of all, this thing is extremely cool and eye-catching when you wear it. Unless you are blind, you will definitely not be able to help but look at it twice while walking on the road. When you go online for the first time every day, a server-wide online announcement will appear. Everyone will know that this is the owner of the strongest player who is online. Regardless of reality or games, aren't they just trying to gain fame and fortune? Now all it takes is a title and it's done. The World channel exploded again and started a heated discussion. Today's open beta, it is said that the number of people online at the same time has exceeded 50 million, and this number is still rising. All new players are wondering, who is this Witty Cube Man? Why is there a server-wide announcement when his game is launched? How much money does this cost? Love-eating Ali, who is this Witty Cube Man? Smelly brother, please ask. Nicholas Zayasi, Tisk, I don't even know the name of Witty Cube Man, but he looks like a new player at first glance. Zhang Yuki, upstairs, you didn't tell us, how could we possibly know? Strange Escape, that's right, veteran players are amazing. We new players are not convinced. The Redemption of Urgu, I was lucky enough to participate in the siege of the Witty Cube Man. He killed almost all of us, hundreds of people, by himself. If you are new and dissatisfied, you can give it a try and see what you have. A few lives are enough to kill you. As soon as these words came out, the World Chat channel suddenly became quiet for a while, probably because they were all shocked by Liu's brutal deeds. Invincible Fatty, hey, hey, hey. I am familiar with the Witty Cube Man, let me tell you. Tang Yuan glanced at the World Chat channel and immediately became excited. He is the ultimate fan of the Witty Cube Man, and almost all his deeds can be told vividly and vividly. The new players just listened to Tang Yuan bragging and talking eloquently. Tang Yuan's eloquence was very good. After listening to it, these new players couldn't help but sigh sincerely. So cool. Their blood boiled when they heard it. Liu Xiaotao stayed alone in the dormitory. All the other roommates went out to the streets, but she did not go. After she just sent a bunch of messages to Liu, she suddenly felt a little regretful. Did she speak too harshly? She just said that because she was out of anger. Could it be that Liu really ignored her? She was very anxious and uneasy. After waiting for a long time, but not waiting for Liu's reply, she sighed, her eyes dim. Just when she was frustrated and ready to log off, she suddenly received a login notification from Liu. Hee hee. It's really online. Her eyes lit up, a little surprised, and then she suddenly felt extremely disappointed. Liu is already online and has not responded to his message yet. It seems that Liu really hates himself. The next second, her private message rang. It was from Witty Cube Man, and she quickly clicked it to take a look. Witty Cube Man, hey, watch the World Chat channel. Liu Xiaotao was slightly stunned. She followed Liu's instructions and opened the World Chat channel with some confusion. Just the next second, a familiar ID posted a sentence on the World channel. The strongest player, Witty Cube Man at Cute Jump, I like you, can you be my girlfriend? Liu Xiaotao burst into tears instantly, her hands trembled slightly, and she only replied with one word. Cute Jump, okay. Chapter 75. Humble Xiaoming, damn it. Am I dazzled? I just seem to see the Witty Cube Man confessing his love? Whether it's nice to sleep with her or not, it's true. I just saw that too. Peerless little enchantress, hey, I'm so envious, I want to be confessed like this too. Shangguan Nanbei, a girl who can be attracted by the master Witty Cube Man must be a beauty. Sima Dongzi, the way the master expresses his love is different from others. Hey, when can I find someone? A cloud-penetrating arrow, pfft, the IDs of the two people upstairs are really, a perfect match. It is recommended to get married where you are. Snake, one thing and another, it really matches. Liu was a little nervous at first, but after receiving a positive reply from Tiao Tiao, he suddenly calmed down. Tiao Tiao wiped her tears while sending a message to Liu. Cute Jump, you bastard! Wise Cube Man colon? What's wrong with me? Liu was a little confused. Didn't he confess his love just now? Why did she become angry again in the blink of an eye? Cute Jump, you don't even know how uncomfortable I felt yesterday. My eyes were swollen from crying, and they still hurt. Witty Cube Man, I'm sorry. Cute Jump, is that all I need to do if I'm just sorry? Who is that Qin Shue'er to you? Why is she so close to you and still, holding you in her arms? Isn't she ashamed? Wise Cube Man, I don't know, she insisted on being my girlfriend, and I was forced by her threat to agree to her. Liu had no choice but to briefly tell the story of him and Qin Shue'er from their first meeting to their acquaintance. After listening, Liu Xiaotao suddenly realized. Cute Jump, she is such a proud person, but you took away what originally belonged to her, and now she relies on you. Witty Cube Man, so what should I do now? Otherwise, I should go and tell her clearly. Cute Jump, forget it, she seems quite pitiful. Call her out some other time and I'll talk to her in person. Wise Cube Man, why do I feel like there will be bloodshed? Cute Jump, you think of me too badly. I really just wanted to have a chat with her, nothing more. Liu has received the news from Tang Yuan. Invincible Fatty, boss, where are you? Come quickly, brother Feng is already here, it's just you. It seemed that Zhang Hanfan was already in place, and he was the only one left. Witty Cube Man, jumping, I'll change my number first and then chat with you. Add my ID Guardian Cube Sauce. Cute Jump, what number should I change if I have nothing to do? Witty Cube Man, don't worry about this for now. I will tell you later. Please help me keep the secret first. I don't want to reveal my identity yet. Cute Jump, okay, I will also create a small account later to play with you. I am too bored at home alone. When Liu switched to the role of Guardian Cube Sauce again, it happened to catch up with the last few seconds of teleportation. A white light flashed in front of several people's eyes, and they were teleported away together. When he opened his eyes again, several people appeared on an island. Damn it! You're cheating me! How did you get it to this place where no one can shit? As soon as Tang Yuan opened his eyes, he saw the endless sea, and the four of them were on an island. Zhang Hanfan seemed quite calm, but when he looked at the small island with poor resources, he felt a little troubled. Wow, it's the sea! It's so beautiful! Zhao Kuo looked excited. His biggest dream since childhood was to go see the sea, but it never came true. Unexpectedly, it was actually implemented in the game today. He had just taken 2 steps towards the beach when Liu happened to see him and was about to call him. Unfortunately, it was too late, as a sharp trident suddenly flew out of the water and headed straight for his head. Before he could even scream, he was instantly killed. A white light flashed, and Zhao Kuo's figure appeared on the island again. Oh my god, what was that thing in the water just now? It scared me to death. Zhao Kuo patted his chest, still feeling a little frightened. He had been frightened just now. Liu almost couldn't help but tell him that this was a drowned corpse, but since he was a newbie now, this matter still had to be handled by Tang Yuan. Old Zhao, you are so courageous that you even dare to mess with drowned corpses. Tang Yuan was laughing and explaining to him the knowledge about drowning. Zhang Hanfan's ID was called Feng Han. Liu felt that it looked familiar, but he just couldn't remember it. This island is so small that you can see the whole thing at a glance. Most of the island is sand and soil, with a few scattered birch and oak trees. If you want to get rich, plant trees first. This is a truth that has not changed for thousands of years. Zhang Hanfan took advantage of Tang Yuan and Liu and Zhao Kuo to brag and compare, and directly knocked down all the trees. As an old closed beta player, he knows that wood is the most important food in the early stages of the game. A total of 4 apples fell, as well as some wood and saplings. The resources were pitiful. After he replanted the saplings, he returned to Liu. At this time, Zhao Kuo had been instilled with a lot of messy knowledge by Tang Yuan. The most important one was that when you see monsters, just run away and don't even think about killing them. This is the experience he summed up through a month of internal testing. If I can't offend him, I can't hide from him. No matter what you do, escape first. This is Tang Yuan's way to survive in the game. Although it is a bit embarrassing, it is really effective. Tang Yuan, there are so few resources on this island, what should we do? Zhang Hanfan asked. He had heard Tang Yuan boasting all day long that he was a beta player, and he had never seen it before. Small things, I can handle them. Tang Yuan's facial expression froze and he pretended to be calm. During the internal test, files were not deleted. If you have any extra food or resources, take some out. If there is no food, we probably won't survive for 2 days. Zhang Hanfan looked solemn and said with some worry. If a few of them are trapped and die on this island, then their money-making plan will be delayed a lot of time. He is still waiting to make money quickly and go back to buy medicine for his sister. This. Tang Yuan looked troubled. He was just a pauper, he didn't have anything he wanted. He only had some cobblestones, torches and some stone tools on him, and the food was pitiful. There was only a few pieces of bread, which was not enough to feed so many people. Zhang Hanfan looked at him like that and sighed softly, knowing that this guy was bragging and probably wouldn't have anything to offer. Liu stood aside, hesitant, not knowing whether to intervene. There are a lot of good things in his bag. A set of armor is enough for one person, so he doesn't have to worry about food and drink. But he didn't want to do that. If a team wants to be cohesive, it must share the joys and sorrows. It would be boring if you revealed your identity and let them play games while holding your lap. The things that impressed Liu most deeply often happened when he first came into contact with games and was still a novice. At that time, he was the happiest and his enthusiasm for MC was the highest. He didn't want to encourage others, which would not be a good thing for any of them, but would actually harm them. Therefore, Liu decided that as a last resort, he would just pretend to be a newbie first.